Ohio gozaimasu, konnichiwa, kabanwa, wherever you're at in the world. Welcome to Last Drafts Baseball's live commentary of the Nippon Professional Baseball League. The commentary and views are our opinions and are not affiliated with the NPB, the Pacific League, Central League, or their sponsors. We are giving English reports on the game being played and hope that English-speaking fans around the globe can enjoy the games on YouTube along with us. Tonight, we're calling the game between the Saitama Seibu Lions and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. And we'll give you the starting lineups first, beginning with the Lions. Leading off and playing in center field, wearing number 46, is Shohei Suzuki. Batting second and playing in left field, wearing number 30, is Brian O'Grady. Batting third and playing shortstop, wearing number 6, is Suzuki Genda. In the cleanup spot and playing third base tonight, wearing number 60, is Takiya Nakamura. Batting in the 5 spot and wearing number 1 is Takumi Kuriyama. Batting 6th and playing first base, wearing number 33, is Jansen Witt. Batting 7th and playing second base, wearing number 5, is Shuta Tanasaki. Batting 8th in right field, wearing number 68, is Junichiro Kishi. And batting 9th and doing the catching, wearing number 37, is Sena Tsuge. And they are going to be facing the right-hander and the ace of the staff for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. They are going to be facing Masahiro Tanaka. Tanaka enters the game tonight with a 1-0 record. He won his first start, going 7 innings, allowing 4 hits, 1 run earned, walking none, and striking out 6. And now the starting lineup for the home team for Tohoku, the Rakuten Golden Eagles. Leading off and playing in left field, wearing number 6, is Haruki Nishikawa. Batting second and playing shortstop, wearing number 34, is Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. Batting third and playing second base, wearing number 3, is Hideto Asamura. Batting fourth in right field, wearing number 35, is Hiroki Shimochi. Batting fifth and doing the designated hitting and making his NPB debut, wearing number 42, is Chris Gittins. Batting sixth and playing third base, wearing number 7, is Daichi Suzuki. Batting seventh and playing first base, wearing number 12, is Jose Marmaleos. Batting 8th and in center field, wearing number 8, is Ryosuke Tatsumi. And batting 9th and doing the catching, wearing number 26, is Junjiro Simatani. And they'll be facing a left-hander in Shinsuke Sato, who takes to the hill for the Saitama Seibu Lions. Sato is 1-0 on the season. He went 5 innings in his first start. He allowed 4 hits, no runs, nothing earned, of course, and walking 1 and only striking out 2. And that is your matchup today. So we've got a good one. We've got Tanaka versus Sato. We'll be back in about 30 seconds after this, everybody, with the first pitch of the ball game. We're glad you guys could be here with us tonight. It's supposed to be a good one from Tohoku. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're glad to bring you this call tonight. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles had their last 2 games postponed as they had a number of players come down with the coronavirus or COVID-19. They had 7 players and 1 coach pop positive. So unfortunately, they had their games against Fukuoka canceled on the weekend for the Hawks. Unfortunately for them, they had jumped out to a 7-0 start, and they were looking to improve on that record. Anytime you have a streak going, you want to keep it going. The Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles have a 4-2 record, and they will be facing off against the Saitama Seibu Lions, who come in at 4-5. For the Lions, they have a bit of an issue themselves. Their star catcher, Tomoya Mori, has broken a finger. There have been reports that the finger was possibly broken on a equipment throwing incident in the locker room after he was subbed out in the April 2nd game. It looks like he's going to miss some significant time. He's going to be away for possibly up to a couple of months. And one of the things that we noted is that the catcher the other night, who's getting the start tonight for the Lions, is Senetsuge. The Chibalote Marines took liberties on the base paths and they were running. And so, what we were curious to see, or what I'm curious to see, is how the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles deal with that tonight. Are they going to challenge him? Are they going to run on him as well? And sometimes that is the catcher's issue, but sometimes it's also how the pitchers hold runners. So we're going to see if there's a bit of a pattern here for the catcher Tsuge for the Lions. So Masahiro Tanaka has completed his warm-up tosses, and we're just about ready to get this one underway. It's going to be Shohei Suzuki, Brian O'Grady, and Sasuke Genda to get things going. And here we are with the top of the first inning. Tanaka working from the windup. He gets the sign from his catcher. He rocks into the motion and he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving over to his left is Hiroki Shimouchi, and he's going to make the catch. Just like that, we have one up and one away here in the first inning. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. O'Grady on the season is hitting .303. He's got no homers and 3 RBIs. He's had himself a nice beginning to his NPB career. We often say it's very important for the import players to get off to a good start. The import players need to make sure that they get themselves going. It starts to build some credibility. And there's a first pitch to O'Grady that's inside. They checks his swing. They appeal down to the third base umpire, and they say he doesn't go. And the count is 1-0. Looks like we got our friend Nash in the house tonight. We appreciate you being here. Thanks for stopping in. There's a fastball swung on it. It is ripped foul down the right field line. And the count now goes even to 1-1 on O'Grady. O'Grady in his first tour of the Japanese League. Had some time in the Kansas City Royals organization. Also spent time with the Padres. Was not able to find a everyday position in the big leagues. He's one of what we would call sort of a 4A player. Too good for AAA, not really good enough for the big leagues. And there's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away. Again down the first baseline. And the count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nash asked the question. He says, do you think this game goes under? I feel like it will. Bats for the Eagles have been dead before they couldn't play. I think this game here is, with the pitchers on the hill, shapes up like it's going to be an under game. And there's a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is now 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Masahiro Tanaka on the hill, facing the Lions, and there's a changeup swung on and missed. And O'Grady is gone for the second out of the inning. And so 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up the shortstop, Sasuke Genda. I have to admit, I don't like the way that the Lions are playing. Coming off of that last series against the Chibalote Marines, I didn't like the way that they were swinging the bats. I didn't like the way that they were piecing or manufacturing their hits. Weren't really stringing things together. That might be a credit to the Marines pitching. And there's a fastball delivered to Genda, and he swings at it, and it's driven up the middle for a base hit. So Sasuke Genda is aboard with the first hit of the ball game. And that is going to bring up the third baseman, Takiya Nakamura. We saw the Golden Eagles earlier. And of course, the Golden Eagles had themselves a good start. They're off to a 4-2 start. Of course, they lost their last game that they played against the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Nash also says, yeah, the Lions bats have been very dead. Really, in the Pacific League, when you look at it, I did a little bit of research. I was kind of curious about this. The Central League is different, though. And there's a fastball delivered to Nakamura. It's swung on and fouled away, and the count is 0-1. A little bit of homework here. Through the first 24 games played in the Pacific League, there has only been 21 home runs hit. So right now, that is less than a homer per game, obviously. And last year in the Pacific League, in 429 games played, there were 689 homers hit. So right now, they're at about half the rate of home runs. So the offense is down in the Pacific League, and there's a breaking ball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. So for those people who are concerned about offense and over-unders and all those type of things, take note that there's a power outage going on in the Pacific League right now. So no balls and 2 strikes, at least in the early going. Of course, it's 143 game or 140, I believe 143 game schedule. So we've got a long ways to go. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Nakamura. It's a fastball that misses down and away. The count goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nakamura, the big fella on the season, is batting 133 with no homers and 2 RBIs. When you go up and down the lineup right now for the Lions tonight, they have nobody in the lineup that has hit a home run this year. And Tanaka fires over to first base, and diving back in time is the base runner Genda. On the other side of the coin, the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are suffering the same problem. They have nobody in their starting lineup tonight with a home run. So long balls are at a premium. It's going to have to be manufactured and nickeled and dimed. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. It is a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. And Nakamura goes down for the 3rd out of the inning. So for the Seibu Seibu Lions in their half of the first, there were no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. After a half inning, it is the Lions nothing. The Eagles, Golden Eagles, coming to bat. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call at the bottom of the first inning. We're glad you guys could be with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom of the first inning, and coming up for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles, it's going to be Haruki Nishikawa, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki, and Hideo Asamura. They're going to be facing the left-hander Shinsuke Sato. As we were talking about in the bottom half of or top half of the first inning, we were talking about the fact that there's been a power outage right now so far in the NPB. Only 21 homers in the first 24 games for all teams combined. And that number hasn't really translated into the Central League. The Central League is doing all right with the home runs. Central League, there's been more offense over there, a lot more pitching maybe over here. I don't know, but the bats are definitely cold right now for many of the teams in the Pacific League. Usually it's timing of the hitters as the season heats up and the weather gets warmer. That's traditionally when you start to see more balls leave the yard. So Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Asamura to get things going here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the first inning. For Nishikawa, he steps to the plate. He's batting 200 on the season. He's got no homers and 3 runs batted in. He gets the nod tonight in left field. So Nash says he heard Romero is pitching today for the Marines. It seems like he's found a good career. He certainly had a good start as last time. And there's a first pitch fastball from Sato. It misses off the outside corner, and the count's 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Nishikawa. Sato works from the stretch with nobody on. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul over on the third base side, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. It was interesting that Nishikawa, when after that pitch was an inside pitch, he tried to inside out the ball. And there's a fastball swung on, and it is grounded past the shortstop Genda into left field through the 6 hole. And that is a leadoff single here for Nishikawa. So we're going to get an opportunity right now to see if they're going to go after the catcher Suge for the Lions. As I mentioned at the top of the stream, the number 1 catcher for the Seibu Lions, Tomoya Mori, broke a finger, and he is going to be out for a couple of months. Apparently, after he was subbed out in one of the second game of the series versus the Chibalote Marines, there was a reported equipment throwing incident in the locker room. And that's what caused the issue that he had broken his finger. So here comes the first pitch, and Sato throws it over to first, and back in time is Nishikawa. So obviously, with a lefty on the mound, I'm curious to see how they're going to operate here. If he's going to be running on first move. And here's the pitch, and it is a fastball that misses down and in, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Yamazaki. Yamazaki on the young season is hitting a .111. He's got no homers and no RBIs. He bats from the left side against the lefty Sato. The runner Nishikawa establishes his lead at first base. And again, Sato throws over to first, and diving back to the base is the base runner. And Troy is in the house. Welcome. Ruben's asking, who's the home team? And we've mentioned it a few times, Ruben. The home team is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. That's the home team. That is on the right side of the ticker. The left side of the ticker is the Seibu Lions. And there's a fastball that is swung on and missed. The count goes to 1-1. Yamazaki, as he took that swing, it was almost like a self-defense swing as the pitch was up and in. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Nash says it sounds like the Huascar Yanoa situation. Of course, the pitcher for the Atlanta Braves, who I think punched a wall last year, and there's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count goes to 2-1. Every once in a while, you see that where guys get frustrated. We've got Troy in the house tonight. Welcome, Troy. Great to have you in. We should be in for some entertaining baseball tonight. If you like pitching and defense, this is shaping up like that tonight. We've got Tanaka versus Sato, and there's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul over on the first base side, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. We had some healthy crowds in here last week for the matinee games in the middle of the week. We haven't had the gambling crowd come in yet, but it is early. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. Sato kicks and delivers, and it is a breaking ball that just misses outside, and the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yamazaki. Yamazaki will be followed by Hideto Asamura, who's waiting his turn on deck. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Yamazaki. The runner Nishikawa establishes his lead at first. And Sato kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that comes up and in and hits Yamazaki on a 3-2 pitch. That's nothing more that will frustrate a coach or a manager, is that you dot a guy on a full count. That would absolutely drive me insane. Hit him on the first pitch because it saves you a whole bunch of bullets, but don't hit him on the 6th pitch of the at-bat. The trainer is out to check on Yamazaki, but he was able to get himself away. He's got a lot of body armor on that left elbow, and that's exactly where it caught him. Sorry, on the right elbow, I should say. Troy says, like Nash said, Tanaka is a Stankies legend. Yes. Well, I have to tell you, I have to say I've never been a New York Yankee fan, but I do have a deep appreciation for Masahiro Tanaka. He was a big game pitcher, and he did it on the biggest stage in New York. And so hats off to him. And there's a fastball swung on, first pitch by Asamura. It's popped up behind second base. Camping out underneath it is Suzuki Genda, and he makes the catch. Couldn't quite tell if the infield fly rule was in effect. I'm pretty sure it would have been, as it was fairly close to the infield. And he was able to reasonably make the grab, and that's going to retire Asamura for the first out of the inning. That's going to bring up the right fielder Hiroki Shimochi. Ruben Hogan asked the question, can the best Japanese team beat the worst MLB team? I think it's a great question, and I do think that if they had a 3-game series, yes, absolutely, it can be done. I think the longer the series or to play a full season would present challenges for the Japanese team. And there's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. and the count is 0-1. Well, let's face it, there are some players that are in the Japanese league that are major league caliber players. There's no doubt about it. I think the thing that inhibits the Japanese league is that they cap the amount of imports that are on the team. There's a fastball that misses down, and the count goes to 1-1 on Shimauchi. Shimauchi on the season is hitting .348. He is the only player right now in the lineup with some legitimate eye-popping offensive numbers. He's got no homers and 4 RBIs through the first 6 games, but he has come in with a bat that's on fire. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. There's a breaking ball swung on, and that's fouled away over on the third base side. And the count now goes to 1-2. So, yeah, Ruben, to answer your question, yeah, in a 3-game set in a short series, a lot of things can happen. And so, yes, I do believe that a team could do that. But over a longer extended period of time, I don't think that that a Japanese team placed into Major League Baseball would have huge success. Would they win? Would they lose 100 games? Yeah, quite possibly. So here's the 1-2 pitch to Shimauchi, and it's a breaking ball that misses down and away. And the count now goes to 2-2. And that's not out of disrespect, because when you watch how the Japanese play, they play a very solid fundamental game of baseball. But there's also nuances to the league. When our friend Josh was in here the other night, we were talking about the 6-man rotation that's used by most teams in the Japanese league. There's a fastball from Sato that misses down to Shimauchi, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes to Shimauchi with 1 out here in the bottom of the first. The runner at second is Nishikawa. The runner at first is Yamazaki. So here we go, ready to go back to work. Sato gets the sign from his catcher Suge. Shimauchi now asks for time, and we're going to reset this and do this all over again. So it's 3 balls and 2 strikes to Shimauchi. The crowd in the stand are holding his towels up in the air and giving him their support. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. Sato checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on it. It's grounded to second. It's fielded neatly by the second baseman, Tanasaki. He throws over to the shortstop covering for 1. Back to first, but it's not in time, as Gittins is going to, or as Shimauchi is going to beat it out. It's going to be a fielder's choice to erase Yamazaki at second. That's going to go down as a 4-6 putout for the second out of the inning. Nishikawa will advance to third, and that's going to leave it up to the import player making his NPB debut tonight, Chris Gittins. So for those of you who are in listening for Chris Gittins, the big fella is making his debut. The former New York Yankee farmhand, big fella, stepping up to the plate, getting the nod at the designated hitter spot in the lineup. This is my first look at Gittins. He's got an open stance. He hits from the right side. His hands are up high, and Sato has now stepped off the back of the rubber. When I saw the specs on Gittins in the offseason, the first thing that came to mind was Zealous Wheeler, who came over from the Yankee organization and joined the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles a number of years ago. Of course, now he's with the Yomiuri Giants. And here comes the pitch from Sato. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Gittins is a big, burly fella. A lot of size in this one. Tanaka, who's up and throwing in front of the Golden Eagles dugout, giving some words of encouragement to the right-handed stick. And here's the pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses up and away. The count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. And Jerry English is in the house tonight. He's asking everybody who they got in the Swallows-Dragons game. So Gittins and a good hitter's count right here. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. Sato checks the runner at first. He kicks and delivers, and that's a fastball down. The count goes to 3-0. They do have the open base, and Daichi Suzuki is waiting his turn on deck. Be curious to see if they give Gittins the green light at 3-0. Big fella stands in. He's waiting on the delivery from the left-hander Sato. He comes set. And he kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 3-1. We got Alexander Leggett in the house tonight. Welcome, Alexander. We appreciate you being here and your support. It's a beautiful day for baseball. It's a 3-ball and 1-strike count here to Gittins. Jerry English says, do you always do the early game commentaries? The answer to that is normally yes, and sometimes we'll do the late night games, especially during the week, as that starts to happen now. We don't do them every day, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. Now the count is 3-2 to Gittins. Curious to see if they're going to put the runner Shimauchi in motion at first base to maybe get things going here, but it is a 3-2 count. So here comes the 3-2. Sato kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away to the first base side of home plate. We're going to do the 3-2 over again. Nash says he would take the Swallows with Cy Sneed on the mound. I saw Cy Sneed pitch in the exhibition season last month. He's got a power arm. He came over from the Houston Astros organization last year. The one thing I like about Sneed is he's really got some downward taper on the ball. He really comes over the top. So here we go back to this game. Here's the 3-2 pitch, and it's a breaking ball that misses up and away, and Gittins is aboard with a walk here, and that's going to advance Shimauchi to second. And the runner at third is still Nishikawa. The bases are loaded. And that's going to bring up Daichi Suzuki, but before that happens, we are going to see the pitching coach come out of the Lions dugout, and they're going to have a powwow on the mound. So Toyota is out there having a chat with his group to settle his young pitcher down. Jerry says he listened to the Card Tigers game. We appreciate that, Jerry. And for those of you who do jump in here, Ruben says, pray for your 3.5 in the first 5 innings. This pitching matchup tonight certainly was pretty tantalizing. We hope you don't blow it here all in the first inning there, Ruben. So here comes the third baseman, Daichi Suzuki, to the plate. He's hitting 125 on the season. He takes a first pitch fastball for a called strike. Not sure about that one. It was up and in. Zero Fox Sports is in the house. That's our friend Doug. So welcome to the NPB with a walk. Not bad for your debut. So Alexander Leggett is syncing his stream to the call here. Here comes the 0-1 pitch, and there's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. So no balls and 2 strikes. Usually Alexander will put it in, well, you can't put the links, but what he can do is he can, in the chat, give you some recommendations as to where to look for it. He's done that the other nights. Usually he pops in and can help some of the folks be able to do that. And usually they sync the feed to this, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count is 1-2. As I said, down in the United States, it's a little bit different depending on how you can get your feeds. I know there was some stuff on Yahoo in Japan that they were doing some games that people could go and get some highlights and stuff. And I know I went over and took a look, but the message came up and it said not available in your country. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Sato holds at the belt. He kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now runs to, I've got 2-2 here to Suzuki, but the score is telling me 1-2. So we'll get a check on that for a second. So here comes the 1-2 to Suzuki. Sato kicks and he delivers. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. It's deep. It's trouble. It's over the head of the right fielder. It's up against the wall. 1 run is in. 2 runs are in. And the ball is cut off. Standing on second base is Suzuki with a double. Chris Gittens goes all the way around to third. But Nishikawa and Shimauchi have scored, and they've opened up the scoring here in the bottom of the first inning with 2 runs with 2 out. As Nishikawa and Shimauchi have crossed the plate, Gittens goes all the way around to third. And Daichi Suzuki with a clutch double here in the bottom of the first inning, knocking in a pair of runs, has put the Golden Eagles up 2-0. And that's going to bring up one of the other import players we haven't seen yet. That's Jose Marmoleos. Jose Marmoleos is a former Seattle Mariner farmhand. He was the AAA MVP last year. He bats from the left side, and the first pitch from Sato is a breaking ball down and away. And the count is 1-0. For Marmoleos, he's only batting 133. He's off to a tough start. He's 2 for 15. He's struck out 8 times already. He's a left-handed stick. He's got kind of an upright stance, and he stands off of the plate. And there's a fastball swung on, and this ball spanked into right field, but right to the glove of the right fielder, Junichiro Kishi. And that is going to do it for the Golden Eagles in their half of the first inning. So there were 2 runs in the inning. There were 2 hits. There were no errors, and there were 2 left aboard. We are through 1 full inning in Tohoku. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Gold Eagles 2, the Saitama Seibu Lions. Nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes, and we'll give you the call of the second inning. Here's our friend Matt Hollis. Be sure to check him out when you get a chance after the game. He's a supporter of our channel, and in turn, we'd like to support him. Here's Matt.
Well, you've got to have an ace in the hole, a little secret that nobody knows. Life is a gamble, a game we all play, but you've got to save something for a rainy day. You've got to learn to play your cards right if you expect to win in life. Don't put it all on the line for just 1 roll. You've got to have an ace in the hole.
Once again, everybody, that's Matt Hollis. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. Again, a supporter of ours, and in turn, we like to support him. We got a whole bunch of people that are checking in. Wesley Saki Rush is in the house. We've got Justin Kalish, and Anthony Woodfield is here again. Thanks, everybody, for popping in tonight. We do appreciate your support of our channel. We're now cruising to the top half of the second inning, and it is going to be the 5, 6, and 7 hitters coming to bat for the Saitama Seibu Lions. That means it's Takumi Kuriyama, Jansen Witt, and Shuda Tanasaki to face Makun or Masahiro Tanaka, and the first pitch is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. For Kuriyama on the season, he's hitting .208. He's got no homers and 6 runs batted in. And Tanaka kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the inside corner, and the count now is even at 1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Tanaka goes back to work. He kicks and delivers. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count now goes to 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. Here we are back to work once again, and there's a split finger pitch that swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2. It's going to be a tough night for the Lions. We said earlier that they've been a bit offensively challenged through the first 3 series of the season, and there's a fastball swung on. This is lifted into just behind the grass, behind the shortstop, and moving back on it is Yamazaki. Makes an easy catch on the pump up by Kuriyama, and he is retired for out number 1. That's going to bring up Jansen Witt. We were saying that the are a little bit challenged right now. The teams in the Pacific League offensively, there's only been, I would say, as we talked about at the outset, there's been 24 games played coming into today's action and only 21 homers hit. The first pitch delivered to Jansen Witt is a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-0. And so the pitching has a tendency to be favored right now because they're going to have to nickel and dime and manufacture their runs. As the weather heats up, we would expect that's going to change. Here's the 1-0 pitch. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away over on the first base side, and the count goes to 1-1. Sorry for not keeping up with the chat sometimes. John Cardona is in the house. We welcome you. So certainly at this time of the year, the bats haven't seemed to got going yet. The pitching has definitely been better than the hitting, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. It's going to reach the seats behind the first base dugout. The count is now 1-2. Jansen Witt on the season is 1 for 11. He's got no homers and 1 RBI. It's a little bit harsh because we saw him against Chiba in games 2 and 3 of that series, and he put some really good swings on pitches. The unfortunate part, it was right to the gloves of some of the fielders. So here comes the 1-2 pitch, and there is a split finger pitch that ends up in the left-handed batter's box, and that's going to even the count at 2-2. Jerry English says he can't seem to understand why the Hanshin Tigers are so bad this year. They seem they're a better team than the record indicates. And I'd have to say, Jerry, when you think about last year, the Hanshin Tigers for the first 6 weeks of the season were absolutely outstanding. The best team in the NPB, off to a huge start. And there's a split finger pitch that misses down to it. The count is now 3-2. And this year here, they're really, really struggling. They did have some turnover. They did not have Jerry Sands back in the lineup this year, who was a big part of their offense last year. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. And Tanaka delivers. It is a split finger pitch, and Witt lays off it, and he draws himself a 1-out walk here in the top of the second. That's going to bring up the second baseman, Shuda Tanasaki. John, appreciate you being here. We are glad you could make it into the stream tonight. I saw earlier that your name came across my board, that you are one of our newer subscribers, and we appreciate you for that. We do sometimes from time to time call Major League Baseball games, obviously with the season opening up on Thursday. If I can't get to do some of the games, I do like to give the calls of the games as well a little bit later in the MLB games. And usually those games would be the daytime MLB games. So if you're on the West Coast, it would be a 10 o'clock first pitch in the morning. There's a first pitch fastball delivered to Tanasaki. It's popped up. Camping out underneath it is the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. He's going to make the catch, and he's going to put that away for out number 2. And that is going to bring up the right fielder, Junichiro Kishi. For Kishi on the season, he's hitting .333. Kishi is getting the start in right field tonight. He's not a big fella. Got our first real look at him in the last series. But he's got a little bit of pep in his step. He's kind of stocky. He's got the body armor on the left side of his arm. He hits from the right side. He really holds the bat far from his body, and he stands right on the plate. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch, and he swings and misses. And the count is 0-1. Breaker Wizard in the house. Yeah, he says, I remember when he was drafted by the Dodgers, put up some good numbers. Yeah, and he bounced around a little bit. He was with the Dodgers, he was with the Red Sox, and a couple other organizations before he took his act overseas. There's a fastball taken for a called strike at the knees, and the count is 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. Tanaka ready to go back to work again. He checks the runner at first, which is Witt. And he kicks and he delivers, and there's a split finger pitch that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. Tanaka really does have a good split finger pitch. He's able to really get hitters to chase. It's a difficult pitch to be able to pick up. One thing I don't have an answer for, but it'd be interesting to ask some of the players, if guys who have 2-seamers and guys who have split finger pitches, if it's a similar type of, obviously, the spin on the ball that comes out, but if it's a little bit more difficult in which to get. And there's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count goes to 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. So 2 balls and 2 strikes to the hitter Kishi. Tanaka holds at the chest and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. The bat goes almost as far as the ball. It's grounded over to third. It's picked up neatly by Suzuki as he has to avoid the oncoming barrel of the bat. He throws to first, and it is in time to retire Kishi. It goes as a ground out, 5-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Lions into their half of the second inning. They had no runs. There was no hits, no errors, and 1 runner left the board. We're through 1.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2, the Seibu Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call, the bottom of the second inning. We're glad you're here with us. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the second inning. It's going to be the 8, 9, and 1 hitters coming to bat for the Golden Eagles. That means it's Ryosuke Tatsumi, Jinjiro Sumitani, and then the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa, to get things going. So here we go. Tatsumi steps up to the plate. He is batting .200 on the season. He's got nothing in his slash line. He's hitting from the left side. One thing that you notice in Japanese baseball, there's not a lot of guys who hit from both sides of the plate, but this is one of them. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Tatsumi. It'll be interesting to see how long the starter here is going to be able to stay in the game. Sato had a 30-pitch first inning. There's a breaking ball swung on, and it's fouled right into the feet of the hitter. And so now the count is 1-1. Alexander Leggett says pretty much the best English-speaking stat page for the NPB. I think I sent that over the other night. I could probably put that up for you in another inning or so, guys. And it's an English box score. You can look at the box scores as the game goes on. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count is 1-2. Just have to give me till the in-between innings, and I'll put it into the chat for you. And I think it's obviously it has all the other games as well, but there are other ones out there. Even on the NPB website, there are stuff, but it's, of course, you've got to navigate through the Japanese. And there's a fastball that just misses off the outside corner, and the count now goes to 2-2 to Tatsumi. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, Alexander Leggett's got it. There you go. And there's a breaking ball that almost hits Tatsumi, and it moves him off the inside corner, and the count is now 3-2. We got Demon Slayer and Sinner and Tuck and Roll in the house. We appreciate you guys checking in tonight. Thanks for stopping by. Here comes the 3-2 pitch. Sato kicks and delivers, and it's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to first. It's fielded neatly by Jansen Witt. He races over to the bag, and he easily beats Tatsumi. That's going to go down as a ground out to 3 for out number 1 here in the second. And that's going to bring up the catcher, Jinjiro Sumitani. For Sumitani on the season, he does not have any stats across his stat line. He is officially batting .000, and the reason why for that is he doesn't have a hit, but he's had 12 plate appearances. He's had 8 official at-bats. And so here comes the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and this is fouled off down the right field line, and the count is 0-1. So Matani does have a base on ball, and he's got 3 sacrifice hits. We noticed this last year with the Golden Eagles. They really don't get a lot of offense from their catching position. They've had a number of guys that have been behind the plate, and none of them exactly produce anything offensively. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count goes to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Simatani back to work. He kicks and delivers, and there is a breaking ball swung on and grounded foul past the third base coach's box, and the count goes to 1-2. One thing that I see that would frustrate me with this pitcher, and that is when I watch him, he never really seems to focus on the plate or his target. He'll take a look, he'll look away over to first base, then he kind of looks back, and then he goes into the motion and he looks away again. And then he picks up the target at the last minute, and then he throws or at the last moment, and then he goes to throw. There's a fastball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count is 1-2. Drives me crackers when pitchers do that. They look away from the target just as about there to deliver. They might as well pitch with a blindfold on sometimes. They've got as good a chance as throwing a strike when they are not looking at the target. And there's a fastball swung on. This ball is lined past the pitcher, and it's going to get through up the middle. And that is going to be a base hit for Simatani. With 1 out, he's aboard with a 1-out single. And that's going to turn the batting order over, and we're going to see Haruki Nishikawa come to the plate. Alexander Leggett says Simatani's got some power. Yeah, he's got to make some contact before we start to see it, because he is a big fella. So, I'd like to hope maybe that'll play out at this level. We don't know. I know that, unfortunately, for the Eagles, they're kind of top heavy in their order. And last year, I think their biggest Achilles heel was really the bottom three, plus the import players that they had didn't give them much production last year. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. Count is 0-1. And Jerry says if he's reading the stats correctly, it was his first hit of the season. It was his first hit of the season. He's now officially 1 for 9. So Nishikawa has no balls and 1 strike to him. He singled and scored a run his first time up. And here comes the pitch from Sato. It's a fastball swung on. It is lifted into center field. Moving over to his right is Shohei Suzuki. He's going to make the catch. And that is going to return the base runner Simatani all the way back to first. And so there are now 2 away here in the second inning for the Eagles, and it is going to bring up Tsuyoshi Yamazaki to the plate. Yamazaki, in his first at-bat, was dotted with a 3-2 pitch. Well, Ruben Hogan asked the question, what's the next Japan player that's going to make an impact in the NPB? And that would be Seiya Suzuki, who's going to get the nod with the Cubs this year. Although I'd have to say he had an average spring training. There's a breaking ball that is taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1 to Yamazaki. Yamazaki batting from the left side against the left-handed Sato. And the reason I say Seiya Suzuki, he did have 2 home runs when I last checked in on his stats. And there's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1. Suzuki's only hits of the spring were home runs. I think he was 2 for 13 when I looked in on his numbers. Mind you, it is spring training. But I do think he is going to have an impact this year. There's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 1-2. Check that, 2-1. 2 balls and 1 strike. So Sato gets the sign from his catcher Tsuge, ready to go back to work. He kicks and he delivers. It's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. And the count is now 2-2. So Anthony's asking the question. So we are in the bottom of the second, Anthony. So when you see the ticker going across, the home team is on the right, the visiting team is on the left. We're in the bottom of the second. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. And it is a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Yamazaki is retired on strikes for out number 3. And that is going to do it for the Golden Eagles in their half of the second inning. So there were no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and 1 runner left aboard. We're now through 2 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2, the Saitama Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple moments with all the action. We're glad you guys could be here. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher. After the game, make sure you go check out Steve's channel. He's an eclectic, kind of crazy guy. He does all kinds of weird things. Let him know Last Drafts Baseball sent you, and tell him to get a haircut. We'll be back in just a moment.
Hello, kids. Steve coming at you. It's Steve Rademacher. And if you like interesting stuff, if you like to laugh a little bit, and if you enjoy collecting, this channel's for you. If you like non-sport cards, we have them. You like pseudo-sport cards, we open them. Even if you like entire boxes of completely pointless stuff or other sports, we have everything here. I drop a different video every day, and there's always a theme to it, from No Filter Friday to Saturday morning cartoons, even Sunday shoutouts. Once in a while, we'll get a little froggy and show Money Money Monday, where I showcase a bunch of my currency. We have Legos, we have Star Wars, we have a good time. We even have my brother on Takeover Tuesday. Be there or be square. Back to Freddy.
Thanks again, Steve, and for your support of our channel. I appreciate you guys being here. Tuck and Roll keeps asking, tell me why Hanshin's the favorites tonight. They're the worst team in the league. I guess you'd have to go look at the pitching matchup. I didn't see who is in that game. I'll take a peek at it, maybe give you some thoughts. So this is going to bring up the 9-hole hitter Sena Suge to the plate to face Tanaka, and the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that drops in, and the count is quickly 0-1. Suge is 0 for 4 on the season. He has no batting average yet. He is behind the plate tonight as the catcher. And there is a fastball that catches the outside corner, and the count is now quickly 0-2. So no balls and 2 strikes. So Suge waiting on the delivery from Tanaka, and it's a fastball that is in about the same spot, and Tanaka doesn't get the call, and the count now goes to 1-2. I have to say, sometimes the consistency of the umpiring can be a little bit problematic, and that pitch looked exactly in the same spot, and there was a fastball swung on its tap foul over on the third base side, and the count remains at 1-2. Tanaka was very efficient through his first 2 innings of work, throwing 28 pitches. Demon Slayer jumps in and says, Tuck and Roll, probably because Hanshin's starting pitcher is better than the others. I haven't seen the matchups yet, and there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 2-2. Just taking a look at the matchups for you, Fernando Romero is getting the start for Yokohama. The starter is Yuki Nishi for Hanshin. Although I have to say, Romero had a good start for the Bay Stars in his first outing, but Yuki Nishi, don't know if he's still considered the ace of the staff anymore in Hanshin, but there's a fastball swung on, and the bat is broken. It's going to get down into right field. It is going to be in no man's land, and that is going to be a base hit for Suge as it's chipped over the first baseman's head. The second baseman and right fielder are all converging. Nobody had a chance to get it. That's the second broken bat in as many batters as we've had. Kishi ended the last inning as his barrel of the bat went just as far as the ground ball to third. And then Sugi broke his bat on the ball that is looped into shallow right field, and he's aboard with a leadoff single. Demon Slayer also says that Hanshin is due. Yes, the odds are in their favor. They're going to have to win a game sometime. So this is the top of the order. Shohei Suzuki now stepping in. And the first pitch from Tanaka is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Suzuki tonight is 0 for 1. He flew out to right field his first time up. He's hitting .211 on the season now. As we said, outside of O'Grady in the batting order, there are some really tough batting averages to look at here. Kishi's also hitting fairly well, but he doesn't have the number of at-bats yet. He's only got, I think, 6 or 9 at-bats. There's a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike. The count is 1-1. Jerry says the Swallows game was canceled the other night. Actually, the Swallows game was canceled because of rain. It was the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks and the Golden Eagles Saturday, Sunday games were canceled because of the virus outbreak in the Golden Eagles locker room. And there's a breaking ball that swung on and tap foul. And the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Temperature at game time was 55 degrees, but it is going to be a downward spiral from here. All the base umpires are wearing jackets, and there's a fastball that misses down. It was backhanded by the catcher Simatani, and very fortunate to have come up with that play. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Again, Tanaka checks the runner at first, and now he comes set. And here's the pitch. It's a split finger pitch. It's grounded through the 4-hole, past the first baseman into right field. But the base runner, Suge, is going to hold at second base. And Shohei Suzuki's got himself a base hit, and there's trouble brewing here in the 3rd inning as the Lions have the first 2 runners aboard. So the runner at first is now Suzuki. The runner at second is Suge, and that's going to bring Brian O'Grady to the dish. O'Grady is 0 for 1 tonight. He has struck out in his only time up. His batting average has slipped a little bit here. He's now hitting .294 with 2 homers and 3 RBIs. He's bats from the left side. He's one of the few players in the lineup who's been swinging a hot bat. It would be a good time for the Lions right now for him to come through. Here's the first pitch from Tanaka. It's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Welcome to the NPB, and welcome to Masahiro Tanaka's house. That pitch was filthy. And O'Grady was way out in front, and his head was pulled off the ball, and the ball just fell off the table. So no balls and 1 strike. O'Grady digs himself in. Tanaka gets the sign from his catcher, Simatani, and he's ready to go back to work. He checks the runner at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's lifted foul. It's going to get into the stands behind third base dugout. That's going to make the count 0-2. Something I learned recently in the Japanese league is the number 18 is given to the pitchers who are considered the ace of the staff. And that is exactly what Masahiro Tanaka wears, is number 18. So players that wear, or pitchers who are given 18, are considered to be the aces of the staff. They do have numbers that they give to the players, and it's an honor in some cases to receive some of those numbers. There's a fastball that misses inside. When you think of the Oryx Buffaloes pitcher, Yoshinobu Yamamoto, I believe his first number was something like 76 when he got to the NPB. Well, that didn't stay on very long. Jerry English says, a good split finger pitch is very difficult to hit. The problem is when it doesn't drop. Yes, if you keep it up in the zone or leave it up in the zone, that ball can get tattooed, and there is a fastball that misses inside, and the count is now 2-2. If you leave your split finger pitch up in the zone, you better need to learn how to back up bases if you are a pitcher, because those balls can absolutely get crushed. But if you keep the ball down and it looks like it's going to be a low strike, boy, it is definitely a great weapon for pitchers to have. A lot of the North American pitchers have gone away from the split finger because it's very hard on the elbow and in the forearm. And here's the 2-2 pitch. See, split finger pitch, it misses down. That time it was a good block by the catcher, Simatani. And that's going to make the count 3 balls and 2 strikes to O'Grady. Split finger pitches, especially for guys who really throw hard, because of obviously the fingers and the widening out the fingers, it puts a lot of stress into the elbow area. And so it's been a pitch in North America. I think of Kevin Gossman right now, the Blue Jays, who has a devastating split finger pitch. There's a 3-2 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on and lifted foul. It's going to get into the stands on the third base side of home plate, but it's going to keep the count at 3-2 to O'Grady. Jerry says that was his main pitch in college. The thing is that I had a power right-hander a few years ago, and it was a bit of a problem for him that he was sit 95 on the right side. But he had some challenges with the split finger pitch, and the split finger pitch when he threw it was devastating. There's a fastball that's taken for a called third strike, and that is going to retire Grady here for the first out of the inning, and that's going to bring up the shortstop Suzuki Genda. So Grady, not sure if he necessarily liked the call. That pitch there was a four-seam fastball right at the knees. Got to give a lot of credit to the catcher. He was able to get underneath the pitch. He really did a good job of framing that pitch. He didn't let the ball drag him down or dump the glove on him, and he was able to stick the pitch for the called third strike. So that's going to bring up the shortstop, Suzuki Genda. Jerry says, do you know what the fastball versus the split is? I'll see if I can pick that up for you. There's a fastball delivered to Genda. It's popped up into shallow center field. Moving in on it is the center fielder, Tatsumi. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire O'Grady for the second out of the inning. So just a couple of things that, as I catch back up on it, Alexander says framing is an underrated skill. 100% agree. Had a player used to play for me who went on to actually he was a bullpen catcher for the Blue Jays for a season. And the fella, his name was Greg Densom. He was a former junior national team player for Canada. And his receiving skills were absolutely outstanding. Really, really good with the glove. I like to tell people I taught him a lot, but boy, did he teach me as much as maybe I taught him, or maybe even more. And there's a split finger pitch that is swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. So Alex does say that framing is an underrated skill. 100% it is. You having a soft glove, being able to receive the pitches from the pitcher, getting underneath the low fastball, and there's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Moving over underneath it is the left fielder Nishikawa. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to do it here in the top half of the second inning as Nakamura flies out to left for the third out of the inning. So for the Seibu Lions, in their half of the third, they had no runs. There were 2 hits. There were no errors and 2 runners left aboard. They threaten, but they don't score. We're now through 2.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 2, the Seibu Seibu Lions. Nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment with the call. At the bottom of the third inning, we're glad you guys could be here with us tonight. Here's our friend Zealous Wheeler. Welcome back, everybody. We're moving to the bottom half of the third inning. It's a 2-0 game for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Coming to bat, it's going to be Hideto Asamura, Hiroki Shimochi, and Chris Gittins, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters in the Golden Eagles lineup. And so we're happy for us to see Gittins and Marmolejos in the lineup tonight for the Golden Eagles. Golden Eagles last year really struggled with their import players. Brandon Dixon, who had spent time with the Tigers and Cincinnati organization, was one of their guys last year. He was never really able to get it going. Rusty Castillo, who was a huge signing a number of years ago by the Boston Red Sox out of Cuba, he came over last year and he could not get it going. Injuries that seemed to dog him throughout his career in North America continued in Japan. And so if I had to say one thing that couldn't get the Eagles over the hump last year, it was their import acquisitions to be able to push them over the hump. So hopefully Gittins and Marmoleos can provide some offense for them. And here we go. It's going to be Asamura, Shimochi, and Gittins to get things going. Asamura steps in on the right side, and the first pitch from Sato is delivered a fastball at the knees, and the count is quickly 0-1. We're again talking about in the last inning about the pitcher's receiving skills. So there's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Apologize because I sometimes can't always keep up with the chat. But I was talking about the receiving skills of the catchers. Even if you get an extra 5 or 6 strikes a ball game, that makes a huge difference. And there's a ground ball that gets past the glove of the second baseman Tanasaki through the 4-hole into right field, and Asamura is aboard with a base hit single. So Asamura leads the inning off here with a single. That brings up Hiroki Shimochi. Jerry says, so you keep saying import players from someone who's just starting in the NPB. What is that exactly? Well, an import player is anybody that would come from North America or Europe or anywhere else in the world, Australia or, Latin America or South America. Import player, I do believe, and I have to double check on this. And there's the first pitch to Shimochi. It's a breaking ball down and away. And the count is 1-0. If I'm not mistaken, the Taiwanese players are not considered imports in the Japanese league. I have to double check on that. But there is a relationship. So, for example, the player who is playing for the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters, there's a breaking ball that misses down and away. Count is 2-0. I believe the relationship that they have with the Taiwanese league does not count as an import against them. Somebody else may have that information off the top of their head, but that's something that I do have to double check on, but I believe that information I'm providing is correct. There's a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-1. So 2 balls and 1 strike. So Demon Slayer keeps it simple and says anybody who's not a Japanese player is pretty much an import player. And in the lineup in the Japanese league, you're allowed 3 import players in the game at one time, and you could have 4 on the game sheet. And there's a breaking ball that misses down and away, and the count is 3-1. So usually what you see is you'll see positional players, but you'll see relief pitchers. You don't see a lot of North American starters. There are in the league for sure, but you don't see many. The Japanese do a pretty good job of developing their own starters. There's a fastball delivered to Shimochi. It's taken for a called strike, and the count now goes full at 3-2. And Jerry says it's limited on how many they can get per year. Well, they can move guys in and out. They can release a player and bring somebody else in, or they can waive somebody mid-season. That's all at cost, of course. So if they're going to invest in the import player, they want to make it a good investment. So here comes the 3-2 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on and tap foul behind home plate. And that keeps the count at 3-2. And as I said at the outset, when an import player comes in for the first time, if he's brand new to the league, he's got to come in and produce. He's got to show that he could play straight away in the league. And if he doesn't, then usually it's a quick ticket out of town. Well, Leonis Martin, who's playing for the Chibalote Marines right now, is really struggling at the plate. But he's had a number of good seasons in the NPB, so they'll give him the opportunity to battle his way out of it because he's a proven player, and there's a fastball swung on and fouled away. And the count remains at 3-2. And John Cardona says the KBO also gets 3 non-Korean players. Is that correct? I believe you were correct on that, John, but I don't follow the Korean League that tightly. We saw some feeds off of ESPN the last couple of years. I don't want to insult the Korean League. I find it a little bit more challenging to watch. And there's a breaking ball that is lifted foul on the third base side, and the count remains at 3-2 to Shimochi. The one thing I will say about the Japanese league, between the top teams and the worst teams in the Japanese league, I find that even though, in my opinion, that I think Hokkaido might be in tough this year, they can still play to a certain level. When I watched some of the games in the KBO, the discrepancy between the top teams and the bottom teams were quite vast. Talent level could be sparse. So Pinto Biscuit comes in the house and asks the question, why no live stream? Because we would be shut down. It's a live English commentary of the game. If you look through the chat, you might be able to find where some people have posted some information on how to get to a stream. Here's the 3-2 pitch. And there's a fastball that misses down, and Shimauchi is going to draw himself a walk. And Asamura is going to head over to second base, and that is going to bring up Chris Gittens. So now they got runners on first and second. And now Gittens comes up to the plate. So Cardona says, what happens if an import player gets injured? Well, they used the Hanshin Tigers as an example last year. For whatever reason, they had signed 8 import players. I think they had 5 hitters and 3 pitchers. Or maybe it was the other way around. And, only 4 guys could be on the game sheet. So some guys are down on the farm and waiting their turn to get the opportunity. So here comes Gittens to the plate. He is still 0 for 0. He walked his first time up, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. And there were questions last year with the Tigers. Why did they bring in 8 import players? You can only play 4 of them. There's no sense in paying the wages and having them languish down on the farm team for reps. I can understand having maybe even 6 players on the team for sure, because sometimes pitchers, they don't pitch every day. You can keep extra ones around. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-1 to Gittens. Demon Slayer says, one thing he likes about the KBO is almost every game is available to watch for free on the internet. All I would say is that people would have to put money into my account to make me watch it. They should be paying me, but that's another topic. There's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. As I said, that's not out of disrespect. I mean, Matt Williams was managing one of the teams there a couple of years ago. There were some players like Dixon Machado and Addison Russell and quite a few guys. Even Jerry Sands spent time in the KBO before he came to the Japanese league. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Gittens. Sato kicks and delivers. It's a breaking ball, swung on and missed. And the count now goes to 2-2. Jerry asked the question. He says, is it like MLB with multiple teams bidding on import players? And on that swing there that Gittens just took, this is not a good sign. He is down. He's hurt himself on the swing. And I don't know if it's his shoulder or the way that his arm is hanging, or if it's maybe ribs or a muscle. But it looks like he's going to come out of the ball game. So 2 balls and 2 strikes in his second plate appearance in the NPB. And he is being walked off with the assistance of the trainer. Now, I'm not going to give you an update whether or not. So he took the swing at the pitch, and as he swung and missed at the pitch, you could see Winston Payne, and he turned around and did like a 180-degree turn. And Gittens has got himself in a little bit of pain there, and he could see he's writhing in pain. Something had happened. I wonder if it's his shoulder. So for those of you who have joined us, the way it sometimes works in the Japanese league is they take the players down the tunnel into the training room and take a look at them, and they stop the game. This is something that is different than North American baseball. And so they're going to make a decision whether or not Gittens is going to continue or not. And the manager, Ishii, is out of the dugout. He's talking to the plate umpire, and I'm sure they're going to get the word here. So Anthony Woodfield says, are the bases loaded? Not yet. It's runners on first and second. It's 2-2 to Gittens. But Gittens has hurt himself. We may have a pinch hitter coming in to finish off this at bat. They're just getting the word from the trainer's room. We're going to see if manager Ishii is going to have to make a move here. That would be very unfortunate here early in the season that Gittins would go down. There's nobody out, Anthony. Nobody out yet. We do have just a stoppage, and it looks like that the manager has nodded his head. So let's see what is going to happen here. And it does look like we are going to have a pinch hitter to come out and finish this at bat. So with 2 balls and 2 strikes, it is going to be Wada coming to the plate. This is Ren Wada, the 26-year-old. On the season, he is not having a stellar start to the year. He is 0 for 13. He's looking for his first hit of the season, and he's got 2 balls and 2 strikes as Gittins is out of the ballgame. And that might answer a question why Gittins was making his debut tonight. He had a walk in his first at bat. So now Ren Wada takes over in his spot in the batting order with 2 balls and 2 strikes. Sato checks the runner Asamura at second. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed. And so Wada comes up to the plate, and with 1 pitch, he's walking, or in this case, jogging back to the dugout. That's another nuance that you see between Major League Baseball and the Japanese League. You'll see when the Japanese players will strike out, sometimes they will run back to the dugout. You'll never see that in Major League Baseball. The players, it's an etiquette. You strike out, you walk back to the dugout. But on the flip side, you got Daichi Suzuki sprinting to get to the plate. In the way that Sato has pitched tonight, I can't disagree with him. I'd be sprinting to the plate as well. So the runner at second is Asamura. The runner at first is Shimouchi. And Daichi Suzuki, who's provided the offense tonight, steps up to the plate, and it's a first pitch swung on. This ball is lifted into center field. It gets down. Rounding second and heading home is Asamura. The throw is cut off. And Daichi Suzuki has driven in his 3rd run of the ball game with a base hit single to center field. Asamura scores to make the score 3-0. And Shimouchi is going to hold at second, and that is going to be runners at first and second. That'll bring up Jose Marmolejos. Jerry English says, yeah, no showboating after home runs. Absolutely correct. The other night, Edney Hechavarria hit a home run. If you get a chance, for those of you who are interested, on Instagram, I think I've got 11 of the 12 teams on Instagram I follow. And Edney Hechavarria hit a home run, and he absolutely hoisted the bat into the air. It was one of the best bat flips in Japanese baseball I've seen in a while. So the first pitch to Marmolejos is a fastball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. Marmolejos tonight has lined out to right field his first time up. So left-hander against the left-hander, Sato ready to deliver, and it's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. The count is now 0-2. One thing that also is to be kept in mind, you think about when the players or import players go over to another country, such as Japan. Here's the pitch to Marmolejos. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. There are sometimes players that maybe have not spent any time out of North America or Latin America and have gone to Japan. Japan is a completely different culture. But in saying that, having been to Japan twice, I found it a very easy culture in which to adapt to. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded through the 4-hole. It's going to get into right field. Junichiro Ishii's coming up, throwing. He throws to the plate. It gets through, and sliding in safely is Shimouchi. And Jose Marmolejos has got himself a base hit and an RBI, and that's going to extend the lead to 4-0. As the Lions are taking it on the chin. So one of our friends who was in the chat earlier tonight saying, do you think that it's going to be under 3.5 for the first 5 innings? Well, there's your answer. That is the second run of the inning, the 4th of the ball game for the Golden Eagles. I'm just scrolling through the list as the people are chatting in the chat. Apologize, I'm not always keeping up with you. Suzuki went all the way to third on the throw to the plate, so we do have runners on the corners with one away, and that brings up the center fielder Ryosuke Tatsumi. Tatsumi is 0 for 1 tonight. He grounded to first his first time up. His average has slipped below 200 now. He's batting 182 on the season. He's 2 for 11. Wes the Pest is in the house. We appreciate you stopping in, Wes. Thank you for your support. Hopefully you can stay with us. We'll be on again the air tomorrow night. Same two teams going at it same time. There's a breaking ball that swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1 to Tatsumi. John Cardona says the correct about the KBO discrepancy. They don't have as deep a roster. Here comes the 0-1 pitch. There is a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. I would also say this about some of the lower teams in the KBO. You know, you might have some guys with major league talent at the top of the order. You've got some guys with what I would call double, triple A kind of caliber in the middle of the order. And sometimes you'd have guys that were almost high school caliber at the bottom of the order. And it's not out of disrespect. It's just sometimes it's money. And there's a ground ball to second. They throw it over to second for one, but that ball gets off of Marmoleos into left field. One run is scored. Marmoleos goes all the way over to third. And the heartbreak continues for the Lions here as Suzuki scores to make the score 5-0. So that's going to be more than likely ruled as an error, but we're going to have to get the official scoring on that one. The throw, it was grounded to Tanasaki, the second baseman. They were going to get the runner going from first to second, which would have been Marmoleos. It hit him in the back of the shoulder, deflected off into left field. Marmoleos goes all the way over to third, and they're in the same situation now with runners on the corners. The band keeps playing here because the Eagles are still at bat, and that brings up the catcher, Jinjiro Simitani. HBKOJ asked the question. Yeah, there are. And if you scroll up in the chat, there will be some directions possibly to it. There's a fastball that is taken upstairs, and the count is 1-0. We don't put the links in the streams to that. We just give you the English commentary. So 1 ball and no strikes. It's a 5-0 ball game here in the last half of the third inning. The Eagles have got their wings flapping. Throwing over to first base is the pitcher, Sato, and diving back in time is Tatsumi. And so here comes the pitch. It is a breaking ball swung on its pop foul behind home plate. It's going to even the count at 1-1. Usually when Alexander Leggett's in here, he's the one who can give you some of that information. And no, hop out for a little bit for work, so just hang tight or check it out as you come and go here. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Simitani waits on the pitch from Sato. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up behind home plate. Racing over is the catcher, but it's going to get well into the stands. Suge's not going to have a chance to make a play. Ball is about 15 to 20 rows deep. That's going to make the count now 1-2. "76 pitches already for Sato here in the bottom of the third inning." One would think that the Lions are going to have their bullpen on high alert. And when we watched the game last week, it is not one of the strengths of their team going to the bullpen. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Simatani digs himself in. And here comes the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It's grounded up the middle. It's fielded by the shortstop, Genda. He steps on the bag. He throws to first, and that is definitely a much-needed double play as Simatani grounds into the 6-3 double play to end the inning. But the damage has been done here in the 3rd inning for the Golden Eagles. They got 3 runs in the inning. We're going to have to give you a update whether it was 3 hits and an error or 4 hits and no errors. And there was 1 runner left aboard. We are now through 3 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5. The Saitama Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. The call at the top of the 4th inning. Here is our friend Matt again. This is Matt Haas. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. We'd appreciate it if you did.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I'll take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the top of the 4th inning, and our friend HBKOJ says, can anyone drop the live stream? You can watch his cousin. We don't drop the links in the chat. There are some visual directions. As I said, Alexander Leggett, when he's in here, can pop that in. But I got bad news for you, and that is Chris Gittens is done for the rest of the night, as he took a swing at that 2-2 pitch in the last inning and had to be substituted out. Like it was possibly a shoulder or maybe possibly the lat muscle. So here we go back to the live action, and the first pitch is a fastball that missed inside to Kuriyama. And then he took a fastball on the outside corner of the plate, and the count goes even to 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a fastball delivered, and Kuriyama pops it up as it's behind second base. Yamazaki, the shortstop, moves back on it. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Kuriyama for out number 1. Pretty unfortunate for Gittens, as we said. That was his NPB debut tonight. Gittens had walked in his first at-bat, was stranded on third, and he obviously looked the part. Sometimes you look at guys and you say, geez, this guy looks like he can play a little bit. And here's another guy who looks like he can play. This is Jansen Witt, who is tonight drew a walk in his first at bat, and he takes the first pitch ball from Masahiro Tanaka for ball 1. Witt, unfortunately, on the season is 1 for 11, but he's had some pretty good swings. We watched him against the Marines the last couple of games, and he's been really hitting the ball well. Unfortunately, he's been hitting it right to the gloves of the defense. And there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. So HBKOJ, we appreciate you stopping by, man. Hopefully it's nothing serious for Gittens. Here's a pitch. It's 3 balls and no strike. Obviously, Gittens would be unfortunate for him to miss some time. He's getting an opportunity to come over to play in Japan after spending time in, I believe he was in the Yankees or the Twins organization off the top of my head. And now, unfortunately, not being able to get a role going over in Japan if he's going to be injured, and hopefully he's not going to be out for a while. So 3 balls now and 1 strike as Witt takes the fastball on the outside corner. So Tanaka ready to go back to work. It is typical Masahiro Tanaka tonight. He is pitching very well. And there's a fastball taken for a called strike. And the count is now 3-2 to Witt. Witt standing from the right side against the right-hander Tanaka. Tanaka gets the sign from his catcher Sumitani, and he's ready to go back to work. He rocks into the motion. He kicks and delivers. It is a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded slowly to short. It's fielded neatly by Yamazaki. Throws on the run, and that is going to retire Witt for the second out of the inning. It is a ground out, 6-3. And see, Witt was not happy with himself on that swing. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to bring up Shuta Tanasaki. For Tanasaki tonight, he is officially 0 for 1. He popped to second his first time up. His average has slipped to 143 on the season. As we said, the Lions hitters here have not looked at all competitive against the master Masahiro Tanaka. There's a fastball that misses down and away. The count is 1-0. And to the credit of Tanaka, he's been able to keep the hitters off balance. There is a fastball delivered. It's grounded over to third. It's fielded by Daichi Suzuki, who fires to first, and that is going to retire Tanasaki on a ground out, 5-3 for out number 3. So for the Saitama Seibu Lions in their half of the fourth, they go quietly. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We are now through 3.5. It is the Saitama Seibu Lions trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5-0. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back with a call at the bottom of the fourth inning after we return in just a few. Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom half of the fourth inning. It is going to be the top of the batting order coming up for the Eagles, Nishikawa, Yamazaki, and Asamura. But we're going to take just a little extended break here. We'll be back in just a moment with the call of the bottom of the fourth inning in just a moment. Welcome back, everybody, and that day is over for the left-hander Shinsuke Sato. We have a pitching change for the Saitama Seibu Lions, and we're going to get you that in just a moment as we get some updates here. So they are going to the bullpen, and they're bringing in a right-hander tonight. Just a note on the scoring back in the third inning. We weren't sure if it was going to be a hit or an error, but it was an error charged to the second baseman on the Ryusuke Tatsumi ground ball, as he had fired the ball off of the shoulder of Marmolejos that went into the outfield. And that is where that stands. So the pitching change now that is coming in for the Saitama Seibu Lions. We saw this young fella the other night. This is going to be Ken Tagame. He is taking over in relief of Shinsuke Sato. So the pitching parade is about to begin for the Lions, and the first pitch delivered to Nishikawa is a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. For Haruki Nishikawa tonight, he is 1 for 2. He singled and scored a run in the first and flew out to center in the second. So Tagame ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Tanasaki fields it. He throws to first. It's going to go down as a ground out, 4-3 for out number 1 here in the fourth inning. That is going to bring up the shortstop, Tsuyoshi Yamazaki. We saw Tagami pitched the other night. He has appeared this year in 4 ball games. Worked 3 and a third innings. He's allowed 5 hits, 3 walks, and he has struck out 6. An ERA of 2.7, and the first pitch is a breaking ball delivered to Yamazaki for ball 1. Count is 0-1. Yamazaki tonight is 0 for 1. He struck out looking his last time up and was hit by a pitch back in the first inning. Takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. Yamazaki digs in and he waits, and there is a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Just as a reminder to everybody, as we mentioned before, we'll be back on the air again tomorrow night, same time, same place, same 2 teams. There's a breaking ball that is swung on and missed. And Yamazaki is retired for the second time tonight. And he is sprinting back to the dugout for out number 2 of the inning. As we said, that's something that you don't see in Major League Baseball. The players in MLB do not run back to the dugouts, but you do see it in the Japanese League. So here's a pitch. It's a first pitch fastball taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1 to Hideto Asamura. Asamura hitting .259 on the season. He tonight is 1 for 2. He scored a run the last time he came to bat after he had singled. Takes a fastball down, and the count is 1-1. It would be good for Tagami to be able to keep the game close here, to keep the Lions in the game. And here's the fastball that is swung on and lifted foul behind home plate. The count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes to Asamura. Sometimes these things happen where a team will jump out with a bunch of runs early in the ball game, and then the bats will go quiet. Here comes the 1-2 pitch. And that is a split figure pitch that misses down and away. Good block by the catcher, though there's nobody on. And that makes the count now 2-2 to Asamura. Asamura, of course, is playing against his former club. He began his career with the Seibu Seibu Lions. And here's a breaking ball that's taken for a called third strike. And Asamura has gone down looking for the 3rd out of the inning. And that is going to do it here for the Golden Eagles in their half of the 4th inning. They had no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 4 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5, the Seibu Seibu Lions nothing. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple moments. We're glad you guys could be here with us. Hold tight. We'll be back with this. Here's our friend Steve Rademacher once again. Be sure to check out his channel after the game. He is a supporter of ours, and in turn, we'd like to support him. Here's Steve.
Domo arigato. Sorry if I mispronounced that. I'm new at this. Thank you for watching Last Raps Baseball. Tell all your friends and family to come check him out, ask some questions during the telecast, and give him a good sub and a thumbs up. And this is Steve coming back at you, and some new things on my channel. Star Wars figures that everybody likes. We have Mad magazines from the 1970s. We try to avoid the Noid. And for your pleasure, once in a while, we can open up Michael Jackson if you want, the cards. We have Elvis. We have Sadahar O. We love everything that is everything, so we even have the Beatles fighting with lightsabers. Look at that, John and George. Once in a while, we'll even have my brother take over my channel on a Tuesday. So once again, everybody tell your friends, come see Freddie at Last Raps Baseball. And right now, I'm going to kick it right back to you, Freddie.
Appreciate you there, Steve. Thanks for stopping in, everybody, tonight. Be sure to check out Steve Rademacher's channel after the game. As we said, let him know to get a haircut. Let him know Last Raps Baseball sent you. So here we are in the top half of the fifth, and the first pitch delivered by Masahiro Tanaka to Junichiro Kishi is swung on. It's grounded over to third. A nice backhand play by the third baseman Daichi Suzuki. He fires across the diamond, and with one pitch, there is one away here in the fifth inning. It's a ground out 5-3 for out number one. That's going to bring up the catcher, Sena Tsuge. For Tsuge tonight, he is 1 for 1. He's got one of the 3 Lions hits. It's his first hit of the campaign. He is now 1 for 5 on the season. Tanaka ready to go back to work, and he kicks and delivers with a fastball on the outside corner, and the count is 0-1. Tanaka was right at 60 pitches through the first 4 innings. There's a breaking ball delivered, and it's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 0-2. Gucci Urari, who has been in here before, he said he just won 3Q on the Eagles. That's awesome. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. And there's the fastball delivered. It's grounded to the 6 hole. Nice backhand play by Yamazaki across the diamond, and they rule safe that he didn't get it in time. I'm wondering if we're going to go have a look at this one. Yamazaki went into the 6 hole, planted, made the throw across the diamond. And he's kind of grabbing his ribs a little bit here. Alexander Leggett back in the house. Alexander, thanks for a little bit for being back here. We have some people begging for information for a stream link. You might want to give them the direction. There are some of that stuff. We appreciate that. So we've got runner on first now with 1 away here, and that is Senatsuge. And that'll be ruled as a base hit. And that'll be his second of the game. And that brings up the top of the order, Shohei Suzuki. Suzuki takes a first pitch breaking ball upstairs for a ball, and the count is 1-0. So Ryan Morris says he loves the audio, but he needs a visual. And there are some people that will help you out here, so just hang tight. He'll give you some directions on how to do it, but there won't be any links posted in the chat or on the stream here. That'll get us shut down, and that's not what we're here for. So 1 ball and 1 strike. I believe it was QQ or something like that, had it the other night. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is belted into deep right field, moving back on it on the warning track and looking up. And this one is gone. A 2-run homer for Shohei Suzuki. And that is going to cut the lead to 5-2. And there you have it right there. As Suzuki belts the ball into the right field seats. That's the first sign of serious offense we've seen all night. And Suge is going to cross the plate ahead of him. And the Lions are starting to wake up a little bit, and that's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. And Tanaka knew it. Not only did Tanaka knew it, he smacks himself in the head with his glove. He left that pitch up a little bit too much there, and Suzuki made him pay. So here's the first pitch to Brian O'Grady. It's a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So there's the information for everybody who's looking. There's a breaking ball swung on and fouled away over on the first base side. The count is now 0-2 to O'Grady. Ryan says, Masahiro Tanaka on the mound. Yes, he is. He's absolutely dealt through the first 4 innings, and now he's been touched up for the first 2 runs of the night here in the 5th. So here comes the 0-2 pitch, and there's a fastball swung on and missed, and O'Grady goes down on strikes for the 3rd time tonight. And he is having his way with O'Grady is Masahiro Tanaka. So with 2 away, that brings up the shortstop, Sasuke Genda. Genda is 1 for 2 tonight. He singled his first time up and he flew to center the last time. And there's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. Genda is the captain of the Lions. Here comes the 1-0 from Tanaka. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Camping out underneath it is the left fielder, Nishikawa. He makes the catch. And that is going to retire Genda for the third out of the inning. So for the Lions in their half of the fifth inning, there were 2 runs on 2 hits. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We are now through 4.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be right back in just a couple minutes. Glad you guys could be here with us. Here's another one of our Japanese memories. Welcome back, everybody. It is 5-2. We are cruising to the bottom half of the fifth inning. We'll be back in just a moment with the call. We appreciate you guys being in here. Thanks for stopping in and checking us out tonight. If you're new to the stream, don't forget to hit that subscribe button. We appreciate you being here. We will be back on the air again tomorrow, but we are just going to be back in about 30 seconds with the call at the bottom of the fifth. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the bottom half of the fifth. It's Hiroki Shimouchi, Ren Wada, and Daichi Suzuki to face the right-hander Ken Tagami, who's come on in relief. The first pitch is a breaking ball to Shimouchi, taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. We got Redbeard Breaks in the house. Thanks for stopping in, Jimmy. There's a fastball swung on it. It is hammered foul down the first base line, and the count is 0-2. So our friend Ryan Morris wants to know, what is the pitch count for Masahiro Tanaka? He was at 63-4. I have to do a quick addition after that last inning and get you updated on that. Yeah, I've got him at 73-5, and there is a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Shimouchi has been retired for the first out here in the bottom of the fifth inning. So 1 up and 1 away. That's going to bring up the designated hitter, Ren Wada. Wada had to enter the game, unfortunately, for the designated hitter, Chris Gittens. Gittens had took a swing at a pitch and had hurt himself, and Wada got in on a tough situation, had to come in with 2-2 on him, and ended up striking out on that last pitch. So he takes a first pitch for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Here's the 1-0 pitch. It's a breaking ball swung on. It is popped up behind second base. Moving in on it is the center fielder, Suzuki. He's going to make the catch, and that is going to retire Wada for the second out of the inning. And like that, we've got 2 up and 2 away, and that is going to bring up the third baseman, Daichi Suzuki. For Suzuki tonight, he has been the big part of the offense for the Golden Eagles. He doubled home 2 runs in the first. He singled home a run in the third and later came around to score himself. He's 2 for 2 tonight. So Suzuki ready to go to work against the right-hander Tagami. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses upstairs. And the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. So here comes the pitch. It's a breaking ball. Take it for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And here we go back to work as Tagami. It's a fastball that misses down and away. The count is now 2-1 to Daichi Suzuki. Suzuki's made some nice plays over at third base tonight, including the one where he had to avoid the barrel of the bat off of Junichiro Kishi. There's a fastball that misses down and away, and the count is now 3 balls and a strike. So 3 balls and 1 strike, and here comes the pitch. It's a fastball that's off the outside corner, and now the count goes to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. And here comes the pitch from Tagami. It's a breaking ball swung on. This ball is lifted into shallow center field. It's going to get down, and that's going to be Suzuki's 3rd hit of the night. And he's aboard with a single here with 2 outs, and that's going to bring up Jose Marmolejos. For Marmolejos, he's got a hit and an RBI tonight. He's also lined out to right field. He also got hit in the back going over to second base in the last time he was aboard, and it ended up being an error that moved him all the way around to third. So here we go. Here comes the pitch from Tagami. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is popped up into shallow left field. Camping out underneath it is Suzuki Genda. And Genda is going to make the catch, and that's going to retire Marmolejos for the 3rd out of the inning. And now we're getting to our, what I like to call our Japanese halftime, as we are now through 5 complete. There was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and 1 runner left aboard. We're through 5 complete. We'll be back in about 30 seconds, and we're going to give you the out-of-town Major League Baseball scoreboard. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. We're glad you are here with us tonight. Hang tight, everybody. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to give you the out-of-town scoreboard, and we're almost done spring training in North America, and so we're going to give everybody the updates on the games in the Grapefruit and the Cactus Leagues. The Detroit Tigers knocked off the Toronto Blue Jays today 4-2. It was Drew Hutchison with the win. Gage takes the loss for the Blue Jays. The New York Mets and the Houston Astros battled to a 3-3 tie. The Pittsburgh Pirates knocked off the Baltimore Orioles in the proverbial basement bowl. Wilson gets the win for the Pirates. Zimmerman takes the loss for the Orioles. The St. Louis Cardinals beat the Washington Nationals 4-3. Miles Mikolas gets his 3rd win of the spring. For those of you who don't know or don't remember, Mikolas was a Yomiuri Giant for a few seasons, rebuilt his career. Edon takes the loss for the Nats. Cabrera gets the save for the Cardinals. The Boston Red Sox dropped one to the Minnesota Twins 2-0 today. Ober got the win. Houck takes the loss for the Sox. Simeon Woods Richardson gets the save for the Twins. The Atlanta Braves knocked off the Rays 8-2. It was Ian Anderson getting the win. Fleming took the loss. The Philadelphia Phillies lost to the New York Yankees 5-2. Chad Green got the win for the Yanks. Dominguez takes the loss for the Phillies. Aroldis Chapman got his 1st save of the spring. The Cincinnati Reds beat the Kansas City Royals 10-6. Gutierrez got the win for the Reds. Brad Keller took the lump for the Royals. He dropped to 1-1 on the spring. The San Francisco Giants beat the crosstown rivals Oakland Athletics 5-3. DeScalafini got the win. Irvin takes the loss. It's Brabia who got the save for the Giants. The Padres behind Nick Martinez. Nick Martinez pitched last year for the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. He's now looks like he's going to be in the starting rotation for the Padres. He got the win. He's 2-0 on the spring, beat the Rangers today 11-5. Dane Dunning takes the loss for the Rangers. The Chicago Cubs beat the Chicago White Sox 15-9. Drew Smiley got the win for the Cubs. Hensman takes the loss for the White Sox. The Mariners beat the Diamondbacks 6-3. Castillo got the win for the Mariners. Smith takes the loss. Festa got the save. The Angels beat the Dodgers 10-4. Suarez the win. Luis Arias takes the loss. The Arizona Diamondbacks won 3-1 against the Guardians. Davies got the win for the D-backs. Pilkington the loss. Poppin the save. The final game of the scoreboard in Major League Baseball, the Brewers beat the Rockies 8-7. Boxberger gets the win. Estevez takes the loss. And Gustav gets the save. And there you have the out-of-town Major League Baseball scoreboard. It all gets going for real on Thursday, everybody. So hopefully you guys will be able to watch a little bit of that. We're going to be going to the top of the 6th inning here shortly, and so hang tight, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment as Alexander Leggett is doing his best to keep everybody in check over here. We appreciate you, Alex, and glad you saw the wrench. Put it up the other night. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back after this, and then we'll be back for the call at the top of the 6th inning. Would you like to support Last Drafts Baseball? We would appreciate it if you did. Be sure to check out our eBay page where we have baseball merchandise. We also have stuff from the Japanese League for those who listen from Japan, but we also do other sports like football and basketball as well. Don't forget, visit Last Drafts Baseball's eBay store to help support the channel. We'll be glad you did. Welcome back, everybody. It is going to the top of the 6th inning in just a moment. We'll be right back as we run you another one. And then we're going to be back to the live action. As I say, it's their version of Japanese halftime or NPB halftime. So 5-2 as we get into the back half of this game. We'll be back after this. Welcome back, everybody. It is Takeya Nakamura, Takumi Kuriyama, and Jansen Witt to face Masahiro Tanaka. And the first pitch is a fastball swung on and missed by Nakamura for 0-1. The pitcher Tanaka goes back to work quickly, kicks and delivers. There's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to third, fielded neatly by the third baseman Suzuki, fires to first. That is going to retire Nakamura on a ground out, 5-3 for out number 1. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the designated hitter, Takumi Kuriyama. Kuriyama tonight is 0 for 2. He's popped out to short both his times to the plate. And here's the first pitch from Tanaka. It's a fastball that misses up and away, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Tanaka ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is hit softly into right field. It's going to drop in just over the head of Hideru Asamura. And Kuriyama is aboard with a 1-out single here in the 6th inning. And that is going to bring up the first baseman, Jansen Witt. Alexander Leggett says Nick Martinez was kind of in Japan. He had some moments. Not always great moments, but he had moments. Kenneth Austin in the house. He says he needs 1 more run for the over. The way it's looking tonight is at some point you're going to get that, especially the Lions bullpen. There's a fastball swung on by Jansen White and missed, and the count is 0-1. I have to say, Ken Tagami has come in and he's pitched very well in his 2 innings of relief so far. I don't think the bullpen is the strength for the Lions right now. They've got to solve a little bit of that. So here comes the 0-1 pitch to Witt. Tanaka delivers. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded over to second. Fielded neatly by Asamura over to the shortstop covering for one, back to first. That is going to be an Eagles double play. It goes down as a ground out, 4-6-3 for the double play, and that is going to do it here in the 6th inning. So there was no runs, 1 hit, no errors, and nobody left the board. We're now through 5.5. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5, the Saitama Seibu Lions 2. Finesse AJ asks, what's the score? Let's run it across the bottom of the screen. There you have it, 5-2. We'll be right back in just a minute, everybody. Stay tuned. Here's our friend Steve again. Let him know to get the haircut.
Hello, friends. Steve coming back at you, a clean-shaven Steve. Thank you for watching The Last Raps Baseball. And please continue to support my channel among others, like Another Hollis Build. Awesome commercial. And now I'll show you a few more things that we do have. We have toys, like this bobblehead Star Wars on wheels. We have Noids. We can't keep avoiding them forever. We do have Legos. Love my Legos. We have Origami Folder. Check him out. He's new into this, getting started, has good following already. We have Red Beard Breaks. And we also have these things that, in a pinch, will tell you what your temperature is. So, if you like all of this, and if you like Last Raps Baseball, join all of us. We'd love to have you. And I know you would enjoy us. Thank you, peace, good night, and cheers.
Welcome back, everybody. We are cruising to the bottom of the 6th inning, and Ken Tagami's night is completed. They are going to the bullpen, and they do have a pitching change as the Saitama Seibu Lions are making a change, and we'll get you that updated as quickly as we can. I believe it's Bo Takahashi coming into the game because he goes by Bo on the back of his jersey. It's kind of funny when you have the different names, but I do believe that is Bo Takahashi entering into the game, and that's exactly who it is, another right-hander to follow. He has pitched in 1 ball game this year. He has got 1 inning pitch. He's not allowed an earned run, and so he is ready to get things going, and the first pitch is a changeup taken for a called strike. The count is 0-1. It's Ryosuke Tatsumi, Jinjiro Sumitani, and Haruki Nishikawa here to face Takahashi. There's a breaking ball swung on. It's grounded slowly to the second baseman, Tonosaki. He throws to first. And that's going to go down as a ground out, 4-3 for out number 1. That's going to bring up Jinjiro Sumitani. So the game has really kind of picked up some pace here, as there's not been a lot of pitches thrown here in the last couple of innings. And that is now 1 away, and now that brings up the 9-hole hitter, Sumitani. Sumitani tonight is 1 for 2. He singled in the second and grounded into a double play his last time up. There's a breaking ball that misses down, and the count is 1-0. It's a good opportunity for some of these pitchers to get an opportunity to pitch when they're behind. So Takahashi ready to go to work. He works from the windup. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is now 2-0. And certainly we saw in the Chiba series, the bullpen was a bit shaky. So 2-0. Here comes the pitch to Sumitani. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right field. Moving over toward the foul line is the right fielder Kishi. He's going to make the catch, and Sumitani is down for the second out of the inning. So 2 up and 2 away, and that's going to leave it up to the left fielder Haruki Nishikawa. So Nishikawa is 1 for 3 tonight. He singled and scored a run in the first. He's flown to center, and he's grounded to second. So Bo Takahashi has come in, and he is following in the footsteps of Tagami. And he's pitching very well. first pitch delivered to Nishikawa is a ball, and the count is 1-0. Alexander Leggett says it's pretty hard to keep up with the balls and the strikes. Absolutely it is. That's why we've got that little box score that you can flick to and look at. And there's a ball that's taken for a called strike, or a pitch that's taken for a called strike, and the count is now 1-1 to Nishikawa. Takahashi back to work. He delivers another breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. Our St. Louis Cardinals fan, 1990, that's Ryan Lawson in the house, says his birthday is April the 12th. He's a week away. Excellent job there, Ryan. There's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and the count is 2-2. So the question would be is, how old are you now, Ryan, if you're still in the stream? Comes the 2-2 pitch. There's a fastball taken for a called third strike. And Takahashi comes in and he's absolutely dealing. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left the board. The Golden Eagles go quietly in their half of the 6th inning. We're now through 6 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a couple minutes with the call of the top of the 7th inning. We're glad you could be here with us. There's another one of our Hall of Fame moments. Welcome back, everybody. It's glad to have you back here with us. We're moving to the top of the 7th inning. It is going to be the 7, 8, and 9 hitters coming to bat for the Lions to face Masahiro Tanaka. He is staying in the ball game. And so we have Tonosaki, Kishi, and Sugi. Ryan Lawson says he's turning 32 years old. That's awesome, Ryan. Sam I Am says over 8.5. Well, I think that there's probably still a couple of runs left in this ball game. You get into the bullpens and you never know, but the way this game is going and the way that the Lions bullpen has been operating, I would say that the scoring is not yet finished in this game. So you need another couple of runs to get over that 8.5. Hog Wild in the house. He says, any shot at the Lions winning? Of course there's a shot. Once you get into the bullpens, anything can save. But the way that Masahiro Tanaka has been dealing tonight, it's going to be tough for the Lions. And so here comes the first pitch to the second baseman, Tonosaki. He takes a fastball for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. And now Tonosaki asks for time as the pitcher, Tanaka, is working quickly. And here comes the 0-1 pitch. It is a split finger pitch that swung on and missed, and the count is now 0-2. Kenneth Austin asked the question. He says, how many pitches is Tanaka at? That was his 81st pitch of the ball game. And now he's at number 82. And there's a pitch that is, and that's actually stepped off there. So here comes the 0-2. We have, so the question, under 8.5 should be safe. I wouldn't say that. If I was in this ball game, I'd be biting my nails at 8.5. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. There's a split finger pitch that misses down and away, and the count now goes to 1-2. The way the Seibu Seibu Lions bullpen has pitched that I've seen this year, this game could get run spread pretty quick in a hurry, especially if you get into the latter part of the series. If they're having to use their pen, their starters have got to start giving them some innings. There's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count now runs to 2-2. Nash says, would they let Tanaka go the complete game, or is he too old to be doing that these days? In the Japanese league, you'll see guys sometimes get into the 100-plus pitch counts, but the thing with the Golden Eagles, they have a pretty good bullpen. There's a fastball swung on. This is grounded slowly to short. Yamazaki fields it. He throws over to first, and that is going to retire Tanasaki on a ground out. 6-3 for out number one. My thoughts would be if this was last season, we would probably see Sun come into the game in the 8th inning. And then in the 9th inning, you would see the closer Masui. And that's how they would run it. But I don't know if that's the same sort of pattern that they have this year. I guess we're about to find that out. So here comes the pitch. The first pitch to Kishi is a breaking ball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is 0-1. But if Tanaka keeps his count, he's at 85 now, I wouldn't be surprised to see him run out for another inning. He's had some pretty good success against the top part of the batting order. They've got 3 hits off him, but he's also got 3 strikeouts there. And there's a split finger pitch that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. And there's a fastball swung on, and this ball is lined into center field. It's going to be a base hit for Kishi. And he is aboard for the first time tonight with a base hit knock. And that is going to bring up Senotsuge. For Suge, tonight he is 2 for 2. He's got singles in the 3rd and the 5th inning, and he came around to score last time on the home run by Shohei Suzuki. So he has got Masahiro Tanaka's number for sure. Suge is now 2 for 6 on the young season. And here comes the first pitch from Tanaka. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is 0-1. Suge trying to slam that one into the seats, but to no avail. He definitely did not get cheated on that hack. So no balls and 1 strike. Kishi is the runner at first with 1 away. And Suge is the hitter here in the top of the 7th inning. Tanaka checks the runner at first. He's set at the chest. He kicks and he delivers. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted foul down the right field line, and it's going to reach the seats. And that is going to make the count at 0-2. Aaron Fernandez in the house tonight. Welcome, Aaron. So, Aaron, if you're going to scroll up in the chat, look for Alexander Leggett. He gave all the information probably about a half an hour ago or less. That will give you some guidance on what to look for. So here comes the 0-2 pitch to Suge. There is a breaking ball swung on and fouled away, and the count is still going to remain at 0-2. He'll be followed by the top of the order, Shohei Suzuki. Should he get on here, one would have to think the Eagles bullpen might be scurrying a little bit as Tanaka is now up to 90 pitches. So here comes the 0-2 pitch. Tanaka kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down. And the count is 1-2. No problem, Aaron. We're glad you could be here with us. Hopefully give us the sub and come on back tomorrow night. We're going to be doing this all over again. Same 2 teams. 1 a.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific. We'll be on the call again. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Tanaka holds at the chest. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on and tap foul over on the 3rd base side. And the count remains at 1-2. Luis Angel Marrero asked, what do you guys think on the 8.5 under? I know what I think. I think that, as I said before, the Lions bullpen would make me nervous. But so far, they've been a bit of a highlight. They've come in relief, and they've done quite well so far. So here we go. Here comes the 1-2 pitch to Suge. But instead, firing over to first base is the pitcher Tanaka, and diving back in time is the runner Kishi. So here comes the 1-2 pitch. Tanaka holds at the chest. He kicks and delivers. It's a split finger pitch swung on. It's tapped slowly to third. It's a nice play by Suzuki. He fires to first, and that is going to retire Suge. That was the only play he had. Junichiro Kishi advances to second base on the ground out, and that is going to bring up the top of the order, and that will be Shohei Suzuki. Suzuki tonight has been the offense for the Lions. He is 2 for 3 tonight. He homered and knocked a couple of runs in his last time up. He singled in the third, and he flew out to right in the first inning. He's pulled his average up to 250 on the season now. So Tanaka comes set at the belt, but he raises it up to his chest. And here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. It's going to get down. Rounding third is the base runner, Kishi, but he slips and he's going to have to return back to the base. It's a base hit for Suzuki. Kishi advances to third, and they got something brewing here in the seventh inning with 2 outs to the Lions. It's going to bring up the left fielder, Brian O'Grady. And I apologize if I miss the name here. Hidesh asks, are we doing commentary on Korean baseball? I won't be doing anything with the Koreans other than eating their food. I do like their food. I'm a big Korean hot dog fan. But no baseball for the Koreans. Kenneth Austin said, should he have scored? I don't think so. I think it was too shallow into left field. And he did slip getting around the base. I don't think he would have been able to score. If it was a little deeper, possibly. There's a first pitch delivered to Brian O'Grady, and it is a split finger pitch that swung on and missed, and the count is quickly 0-1. O'Grady tonight is 0 for 3, and all 3 have been via the strikeout. He has owned O'Grady tonight, has Tanaka. So here comes the 0-1 pitch. O'Grady stands in, waggles the bat. Tanaka kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses down, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. O'Grady came into the ball game hitting .303. Well, that number has taken a nosedive. The pitcher, Tanaka, ready to go back to work. He holds at the chest. He kicks and he delivers. It's a fastball swung on and missed, and the count is now 1-2. Well, it looks like we're going to have ourselves, we're potentially en route to a golden sombrero here for O'Grady. This is what has made Masahiro Tanaka tough. He is a big game pitcher. I was never a New York Yankee fan, but I can say I have a lot of respect for this right-hander. He was always a big game pitcher for the Yankees. It's a big game situation right now. When there's money on the line, this is who you want right here, Masahiro Tanaka. So the 1-2 count to O'Grady. He gets the sign from his catcher, Sumitani, and he's ready to go to work. Here's the 1-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that just misses off the inside corner. The count now runs to 2-2. Be interested to see if he's going to go back to that split finger pitch. John Cardona asks the question, is there a simple place to see starting pitchers? Yeah, absolutely. I'll give you a couple spots you can look. And here comes the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's popped up on the third base side. In foul territory is Daichi Suzuki. He makes the catch, and that is going to do it as O'Grady has popped out to end the inning. Just hold tight, John. I'll come back to that for you when we return in just a moment. In the inning, there were no runs. There were 2 hits. There were no errors, and 2 runners left aboard. We're now through 6.5 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 5, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a minute after this. So John Cardona says, is there a place that we could see starting pitchers listed for these games in advance? Unlike Major League Baseball, where they do about 3 days or sometimes even further in advance, usually it's about maybe a couple hours after the games are completed that they announce the starters. So the one thing that you can do is go to the NPB website. And if you go and look at the schedule of games, you will be able to see that they do announce the starters. But to keep it simple, if you go to Twitter and you type in the search NPB Reddit, there's a fella who's a Yakult Swallows fan who runs that account. He does a great job. Every morning that when you wake up in North America, he's always got the listing of who the starters are. It's a pretty good little reference. He links to different articles, whether it be Yahoo or whether it be to the, Kyoto News or wherever, and you'll be able to get some of that information. So here we go back to the live action. It is going to be Yamazaki, Asamura, and Shimauchi here to face Bo Takahashi. And the first pitch is a breaking ball that is swung on and fouled away, and the count is quickly 0-1. So no balls and one strike. Takahashi ready to go back to work. He delivers a breaking ball taken for a called strike, and the count is 0-2. Got to tip my hat to both of these relievers tonight. They've been very sharp, both Tagami and Takahashi, and there's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped slowly back to the pitcher, but Takahashi has a hard time fielding it. He can't make the play, and Yamazaki is aboard. I don't think that's going to go down as an error because he didn't actually field it. He got his chest in front of the ball. It took a funny hop and hit him. And with the speed of Yamazaki down the line, he is aboard. I'm going to give him a base hit on that one, but we're going to get the official scoring in just a moment. So we'll have to see what the scoring wizards of the NPB have to say. But I'm pretty confident that will go down as a base hit. And so that's going to bring up the second baseman, Hideto Asamura. Asamura tonight is 2 for 3. He singled and scored a run in the third, and around that, he has popped to short and struck out looking. First pitch to Asamura was a split finger pitch down for 1-0. So here comes the 1-0 pitch, and it's a fastball swung on. This ball is absolutely smoked into left center field. Moving back on the warning track is the left fielder, and that ball is going to be gone. It looks like it's into the stands. Asamura, though, is stopped at second base, so we're going to have to maybe get a review here if that's been touched up or not, if it's come back on the field. The umpires may be getting together to go have a look at this. All eyes are on the umpires, so we're going to see what happens here. This ball was absolutely scorched to left center field. They are wanting a review. That's what the umpires are signaling because Asamura looked like the way he was running that he thought that one was gone. We're going to get our look at it here to see exactly what happened. It looked like it may have went into the stands and come back out. The umpires are going underneath to look at it. So here comes our look. That ball was absolutely smashed. And as we get the results, we'll be able to see this. No, it looks like it actually hits the top of the fence, the very top of the fence, and bounce back. So I think the call is going to stand. By my books, it looks like it's going to be an RBI double. Yamazaki has scored, but they're still going to go and take a look at it. He's going to collect himself an RBI here, at least one. But it does look like it hit right at the top of the fence, right on the yellow. And as I catch back up to this, the hitter before Yamazaki did get credited with a base hit there. We're waiting on the umpire's decision. This really shouldn't be a long call. And here comes the call from the umpire. And after review, they say he's safe and he gets to second base. So that is a double for Asamura. An RBI double, and that's going to increase the lead to 6-2 here in the bottom of the seventh inning. So now they have a runner at second, and it's going to be Hiroki Shimouchi coming up to the plate. Shimouchi tonight is officially 0 for 2. He bounced into a fielder's choice and scored a run in the first inning. He walked and scored in the third, and he struck out looking in the fifth. So Takahashi comes set at the belt. It's a first pitch swung on, and it is grounded to second to Tanasaki. Throws to first. Shimouchi does his job. It's a ground out, 4-3 for the first out of the inning. Advancing to third is Asamura, and so for everybody here, they're going to be excited to know with one out, Asamura is at third base, but the infield is going to be in, trying to cut him down at the plate. So if you're looking for the over at 8.5, you're in a situation here that it's going to be interesting. So the pinch hitter earlier, Ren Wada, looks like he is coming out of the ball game. And it looks like Ginji is coming in to hit. I'll get you that information in just a moment. So this will be the third hitter in this spot batting order. Looks like Ginji is stepping to the plate. We'll get you the specs here. It's a pinch hitter with, obviously, with one away. Ginji on the season is 3 for 6, and the first pitch to him is a breaking ball that is down in the dirt. It squirts away from the catcher, Sugi. The runner on third is not advancing. So Ginji is now come in place of Ren Wada, who was in place of Chris Gittins. Ginji is getting a little bit on in his career. He is 34 years old. He's been with the Golden Eagles his entire career since 2010, at least at the NPB level. And here's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into right center field. It looks like it's going to be deep enough. Kishi makes the catch. Here comes the throw to the plate. It's nowhere near it needs to be. And the Eagles have added on another run on a sacrifice fly by Ginji. That is a fly ball to the right field. He picks up an RBI for the second out of the inning, and that is going to leave it all up to Daichi Suzuki. So there's probably some celebration going on in the stream as that 8.5 is no longer safe. It is now broken, at least for some people. So Suzuki tonight steps to the plate. He has been a big part of the offense. He is 3 for 3. He doubled home a pair of runs in the first. He singled home a run and scored a run himself in the third. And he singled in the fifth, and he takes a first pitch breaking ball for a called strike. The count is 0-1. There's a breaking ball delivered, and it misses upstairs, and the count now is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike to Suzuki. Back to work goes Takahashi. It's a breaking ball swung on. It's tapped back to the pitcher. He flips it to Witt at first base. It's going to go down as a ground out, 1-3 for the third out of the inning. That'll do it for the 7th inning, but not until damage has been done. There were 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits. No errors and nobody left the board. We're through 7 complete. It is the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 7, the Seibu Seibu Lions 2. Stick around, everybody. There will be a pitching change. That'll be it for Masahiro Tanaka. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. After this, here is one of our Did You Knows? Welcome back, everybody. It is the night is over for Masahiro Tanaka, and the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles are going to the bullpen. As I mentioned earlier, I would have thought that we would have saw maybe Sun and then possibly Matsui, but because it's a 5-run lead now, we are going to see Anraku into the ball game, and he is going to be taking over here. So we'll give you the specs on him. This is Tomohiro Anraku. Anraku has been a Golden Eagle his entire career. He broke in 2015. He's appeared in 3 games this year. He has 2 1/3 innings pitched. He's allowed 4 hits, 1 walk. He has struck out 1, and he's posted an ERA of 15.43. So he's conceded 4 earned runs. He's going to face the 3, 4, 5 hitters in the order, and it's going to be Suzuki Genda to lead it off, who takes a fastball for a ball, and the count is 1-0. Genda, Nakamura, and Kuriyama are the scheduled hitters here in the 8th inning. There's a fastball that's taken for a called strike, and the count is 1-1. So far, outside of the designated hitter position, we haven't seen any substitutions offensively for either team. There's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. Something that's unique about Anraku is the way that he takes the ball out of the glove. He really hooks the ball out of his hand. So here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's kind of a strange looking look, and that pitch is missed on the outside corner, and it counts 3-1. This is not what the manager wants to see, is you bring your starter out of the game, and all of a sudden now are on pace to walk the leadoff hitter, and there is a fastball that drops in for a called strike, and the count is now 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Raku ready to go back to work. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded to second. Asamura over to his right. He fields it. He throws to first. And that is going to be 1 up and 1 away. Genda gone down as a ground out. 4-3 for out number 1. That brings up Takeya Nakamura. For Nakamura on the evening, he is 0 for 3. He's off to a really tough start this season. He entered tonight's game batting 133. The big fella here is in the twilight of his career, and he takes a breaking ball upstairs for ball 1, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes, and there's a changeup swung on and missed, and the count now goes to 1-1. Sam I Am says, I had 5.5 from way early on in the game. And there is a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into the left field corner. The ball is going to get down, and it's off the wall. Digging for 2 is Nakamura, and he is going to make it in time standing up. So a 1-out double here for Nakamura in the 8th inning, and that's going to bring up Takumi Kuriyama. One would have to think that Nakamura might be done for the night here. They may be looking for a pinch batter, but you never know here. It's not like he's a defensive guru anymore, but they're going to leave him in the game. He really doesn't mean a whole lot. I guess they want to keep his bat in there if they can get around again to it. So he is at second with 1 away, and Anraku is on the hill. Here comes the pitch to Kuriyama. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses inside, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. We do appreciate everybody being in here tonight. We thank you all for stopping by. We'll be back again tomorrow night as the reminder. And here comes a fastball that misses inside, and the count now goes to 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes to Kuriyama. There's 1 out here in the top of the 8th inning. The runner at second is Nakamura. He establishes his lead, and Raku checks him and he delivers. It's a fastball that misses outside. The count now goes to 3-0. Now, this would not be a good situation to put Kuriyama aboard because on deck is Jansen Witt. The Witt tonight has not particularly swung the bat well. Doesn't mean that you want to necessarily face him with ducks on the pond here. There's a fastball that catches the inside corner. The count now goes to 3-1. We often talk about the difference between the NPB and the major leagues. The NPB, you better be able to hit some breaking balls. There's a pitch. It's a fastball swung on, and it is lifted over the third base dugout. And the count now goes to 2-2 to Kuriyama. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. Check that, 3 balls and 2 strikes. So here we go. Runner at second, Nakamura ready to take his lead. And there's a fastball that is swung on and missed. That was a tough pitch by Enraku. It was a knee-high fastball on the inner part of the plate. And Kuriyama got tied up on that one, and he goes down on strikes for out number 2. You often tell young hitters when they're approach at the plate with 2 strikes on them to look away and react in. That was as tough a pitch with 2 strikes as you're going to see, and Raku does his job. That's going to leave it up to Jansen Witt. For Witt tonight, he is 0 for 2. He walked his first time up, and then he grounded to short, and last time he grounded into a double play. And the first pitch is a split finger pitch. It's in the dirt, and the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes. Ryan Morris says, how do you blow a 3-0 count? Yeah, well, got to tell you, that last pitch from Enraku was an absolutely brilliant pitch. Knee high on the inside corner of the plate with 2 strikes. Very, very tough to hit. So here's the 1-0 pitch to Witt. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. It catches the outside corner, and the count is 1-1. Gucci says he posts his wins on his Instagram. So he's high stepping all the way to the bank. Congratulations for that. So here comes the 1-1. Raku checks the runner at second. Witt swings, and he fouls it off to the first base side of home plate. Count now goes to 1-2. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. I had a thought earlier in the game when I was talking about adjustments to not just to a different league, but to a different culture. Certainly the Japanese culture, other than the scripting and of course new language, I found it fairly seamless going over to Japan, and there's a split figure pitch that is swung on and missed, and Witt is retired for the 3rd out of the inning. I'll bring that thought back when we come back for the bottom of the 8th. But in the top of the 8th inning for the Seibu Lions, they had no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors and nobody left the board. We're going to the bottom half of the 8th. It is a 7-2 ball game for the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. Stick around, everybody. We'll be back in just a moment. Here is our friend Matt again. Be sure to check out Matt Hollis after the game.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Namaste. Hey, I hope you guys have been enjoying the game. My name is Hollis. I've got a YouTube channel called Another Hollis Build. I love baseball cards. I open up brand new product for you guys. I open up old stuff. I do breaks. I do auctions. All kinds of stuff concerning baseball. I'm Friars faithful, Padres to the end. I also love Garbage Pail Kids and my animals. I have a ton of animals. It's like a mini petting zoo here around my house. I also love my city. San Diego, baby. I take you all around the city and show you what's up. If you guys dig stuff like that, cruise on over and check it out. It's Another Hollis Build. If you dig it, subscribe. I'd really appreciate to have more follow me along on the journey. Hey, either way, you guys have a wonderful day or a beautiful, beautiful evening. No matter which one it is, make sure that you make it great, my friends. Big up Last Raps Baseball. Yeah, Freddie, let's go. One love and peace. Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, Matt. We're coming back again here. We got Ren Omagari coming into the ball game, another right-hander. This is going to be the 4th pitcher used of the night by the Seibu Lions. And so we are getting the specs on Ren here. It's going to be Ren's third appearance of the season. Pitched an inning and 2/3. He's allowed 4 hits. And he's allowed 5. I've got him at 5 earned runs, although it looks like it's 4 earned runs. His ERA is up at 21.6. So that means he is coming in. So interesting to see how he does here. Coming in to get some work is Omagari. So Ren Omagari into the game, and it's not going to get easy for him, as he is going to have to face Jose Marmoleos, who leads it off at 7, 8, and 9 here. So Marmoleos, Tatsumi, and Sumatani. Marmoleos tonight is 1 for 3. He singled and knocked a run in the 3rd inning. The first pitch from Omagari is a fastball that misses upstairs. They appeal down to the third base umpire for help, but they say he didn't go, so the count is 1-0. So 1 ball and no strikes to Marmoleos. Omagari kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into left field. Moving over toward the foul line is Brian O'Grady. He's going to haul it in for out number 1 here. That's going to go down as a fly ball to left field. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up the center fielder, Ryosuke Tatsumi. Tatsumi tonight is reached base on an error in the 3rd inning. He is officially 0 for 3 tonight. So here comes the first pitch to Tatsumi. And that is a split finger pitch that misses down. It goes all the way to the backstop, and the count is 1-0. Omagari is a young fella here. He's 23 years old. He's going to be 24 in May. There's a fastball that misses inside to Tatsumi, and the count is now 2-0. So 2 balls and no strikes. Sam I Am says, what's this guy's ERA? It's north of 20. There's a fastball taken for a called strike. Of course, it's minimal amount of work so far. So sometimes that gets to be a little bit deceiving. And here comes the 2-1 pitch. It's a fastball, and he's taken for a called strike, and the count is 2-2. He may have had only really 1 bad outing. As I said, this is the 3rd time he's had action this year. Inning in 2/3, 4 hits, 4 earned runs. That'll do it to you to put your ERA up at 21.6. And there's a fastball swung on and fouled away, and the count remains at 2-2. Yeah, 4 runs in 2/3 of an inning can fluff up your ERA in a big hurry. So here comes the 2-2 pitch. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball that misses off the outside corner, and that runs the count full to 3-2. So 3 balls and 2 strikes. Tatsumi digs in, waiting from the offering from the right-hander Omagari, and there's the pitch. It's a fastball swung on. It's grounded on 1 hop to the shortstop Genda. He fields it over to first, and that is going to retire Tatsumi on a ground out 6-3. Out number 2, and that's going to leave it all up to the catcher, Jinjiro Sumatani. Sumatani tonight is 1 for 3. He singled his first time up. He grounded into a double play and flew out to right field. So Sumatani steps in with 2 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Here's the first pitch. It is a fastball swung on, and it's fouled away over on the right field side, and the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Should he get on, it'll be the top of the order, Haruki Nishikawa coming to bat. There's a breaking ball that misses down on the way, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. There's 2 away here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch from Omagari. It is a fastball swung on, and it is fouled off right into the shin of the batter, Sumatari. That hurts like you wouldn't believe. That was 1 long swing. Came right around the ball. Looked like actually it caught him maybe below the shin side on the inside part of the leg, more down toward the ankle. So 1 ball and 2 strikes. You get it in the right spot, it'll be like a bone growing out of a bone. And there's a breaking ball swung on. It's easily tapped over to Genda. It's short. He fields it, throws to first, and that is going to retire Smatari on a ground out, 6-3 for out number 3. And that is going to do it here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. There were no runs, no hits, no errors, and nobody left. The Golden Eagles go quietly. Looks like we're going to have another pitching change. We'll get that for you when we come back. But the Seibu Seibu Lions are trailing the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. We're going to the 9th inning, everybody. Stick around. We'll be back in just a moment to see if we can get another run for a few of our supporters here. Hang tight, everybody. We'll be right back. Welcome back, everybody. We are moving to the top half of the 9th inning. It is going to be Shuda Tanasaki, Junichiro Kishi, and Sena Tsuge coming to bat, or scheduled to come to bat for the Seibu Seibu Lions. There is a pitching change, and it is Masaya Nishigaki coming into the game. And he is going to be the 3rd pitcher used by the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles. So he is taking over. We'll give you the specs on him as Nishigaki takes over here. This is his first season in the NPB. He is a rookie. He has appeared in 3 games so far. He's pitched in 3 innings. He's allowed 3 hits, struck out a couple, and he has not allowed a earned run yet. He's looking to keep his solid pitching intact. So it is Masaya Nishigaki into the books. And as he completes his warm-up tosses, there is a defensive change as Daichi Suzuki has been removed from the game. And so hopefully we can get you that one as well. It looks like it's Ishibashi coming into the game. Or no, let's check that. It's like it's Muribayashi coming into the game at 3rd base. So that would be Itsuki Muribayashi in for Daichi Suzuki. Suzuki's had a really nice game tonight. Of course, he had 3 hits and 4 trips to the plate, and he knocked in 3 runs. That is, his night is done as the defensive replacement Muribayashi is in the ball game. So as we said, it is scheduled to be Tanasaki, Kishi, and Tsuge to come to bat. We'll see if that is going to hold true for the Lions. Just as a reminder, after the game is done, we will do a wrap-up for everybody here. NV Mills checks in. It says, Buffalo versus Hawks. It's a great question. So here comes the first pitch. It's a fastball that misses upstairs, and the count is 1-0 to Tanasaki. It's not the way you want to start the 9th inning with a 5-run lead. So here comes the 1-0 pitch. The youngster kicks and delivers. It's a fastball taken for a call and strike at the knees, and the count is 1-1. So 1 ball and 1 strike. So Tanasaki digs in. He's ready to go. There is a breaking ball that misses inside. The count is now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Check that. 2 balls and 1 strike. Sorry about that, everybody. We're getting a little bit late here, and the game's got a bit of a spread. Hopefully they can make it interesting here. Here comes the 2-1 pitch. There's a fastball swung on it, is lifted foul down the right field line, and now that evens the count at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. This game's had some pretty good tempo and pace to it. Only 2 hours and 45 minutes deep. So here comes the 2-2 pitch from Nishigaki. He kicks and delivers. It's a fastball swung on. This ball is lifted into center field. Camping out underneath it is the center fielder, Tatsumi. He's going to put it away, and that is going to be out number 1 here in the 9th inning. So 1 up and 1 away, and that's going to bring up Junichiro Kishi. For Kishi tonight, he is 1 for 3. He singled his last time up. He's grounded to third the other 2 times. Ryan says his bet is toast, not getting another run. You never know, he could get a solo shot here. There's a breaking ball, and it's taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. Once this game is done, we'll give you a recap, and we'll also give you the starting pitchers from around the NPB for the later games. Then we'll call it a night. There's the 0-1 pitch. It's a breaking ball that misses inside, and the count is 1-1. As a reminder, don't forget we'll be back here again tomorrow night. Same time, same place, same 2 teams. Forget to bookmark us. Come on back again for another listening party. So here comes the 1-1 pitch. And there's a breaking ball that misses upstairs, and the count is 2-1. Ryan says, is it a power hitter up at the plate? I don't think either of these 2 guys, Kishi or Sugi, the next 2 hitters, put any fear into me. You've got to find a way to roll it over to the top of the order, as Suzuki, who is the leadoff hitter, homered earlier. There's a fastball swung on and fouled off over on the third base side, and the count is 2-2. We appreciate that. For those of you who are listening here, I did this last night. If you're still in, let us know where you're from. We have people from all over the place. Let us know exactly where you're calling home or where you're listening from. We always like to know that. There's the 2-2 pitch. This ball is spanked into left center field. This ball is going to be caught by the left fielder. Nice running catch by the center fielder Tatsumi in left center field. That is going to retire Kishi for the second out of the inning. It was a good swing. You got to say Kishi had stung the ball well. But Ryan Morris asked if it was going to be anything like that. Ryan's down in Florida. Justin is in Canada. Where in Canada are you, Justin? Where in Florida are you, Ryan? So no balls and 2 strikes. And then 2-2, and then the next thing you know, that's where it ended. So here comes the pinch hitter. We got Nin-Ting Wu coming to the plate. He is replacing Sanosuge. He takes a first pitch for a ball inside. Wu is 3 for 13 on the season. And here comes the 1-0, and there's a breaking ball that misses outside. So the question that Ryan Morris asks is, does this guy have any power? Well, Nin-Ting Wu does. He can run into a couple balls. He had a really good season last year by his standards. Here comes the 2-0 pitch. There's a fastball swung on. This ball is driven to deep right center field, racing back and to the wall, and it is gone. A home run. And that is going to be a solo shot for Nin-Ting Wu, and that is going to make the score 7-3. And there you have it right there. A home run for Wu. So for some of you who are hoping for that other run, there you have it. Nin-Ting Wu absolutely scorched that ball. I have to tell you, though, Ryan, it was a little bit of a wall scraper. It got into about the second row, and that is it. But there's smiles in the dugout despite the 7-3 deficit. So that's going to bring up the top of the order. Shohei Suzuki, and the first pitch to Suzuki is a breaking ball taken for a called strike. And the count is 0-1. So no balls and 1 strike. Suzuki homered earlier tonight. He is 3 for 4 in the ball game. He's swinging a hot stick, and here's the pitch. It is a fastball swung on. It is chopped, and the pitcher fields it as he's moving backwards. He makes the play. He throws it to first, And that is going to do it. That's going to go down as a ground out, 1-3 for the third out of the inning. And that is going to be the final score. Again, your final score now from the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles home. The final score is 7-3 as they have knocked off the Saitama Seibu Lions. Just staying tight for everybody. We'll be right back to wrap this one up. Reminder, tomorrow we'll be back on the air again. And hang tight after this from our friend Matt.
Good evening, sports fans. I hope you all have been enjoying the game. This is just another message from another Hollis build. I hope that your team is in the lead, but if not, remember, that's life. That's what all the people say. You're riding high in April, shot down in May. But you know I'm gonna change that tune. When I'm back on top in June. I said that's life. And as funny as it may seem, some people get their kicks stomping on my team. But I don't let it get me down. 'Cause this fine old world, it keeps spinning around. I hope you enjoy the rest of the game. And if it remains the same, remember, that's life. You want your fill? Go check another Hollis build on YouTube. Last Raps Baseball. Let's get back to the game. Let's go! You know that's life. You know it. One love and peace.
Welcome back, everybody. Just a few recaps here. We're going to give you the starting pitchers from out of town tonight. All the other games are going to get going in about an hour and 7 minutes time. I'm not going to stick around for those ones as I'll be sawing logs at some point here. But we'll give you the other games in the Pacific League. The Chibalote Marines take their 4-4 record in to face the Hokkaido Nippon Ham Fighters. And for the Marines, they're going to send Eddie Romero to the hill. For the Fighters, they're going to have Naoyuki Uesawa. Both pitchers have already got one start on the season under the belt. Romero is 0-0 with a 1.29 ERA. Uesawa is 0-1 with a 4.50 ERA. The game at the PayPay Dome is going to feature the defending Pacific League champions, Oryx Buffaloes. They're playing the Fukuoka SoftBank Hawks. Oryx is going to send Soichiro Yamazaki to the hill. He's got no wins and no losses and a 6.75 ERA. Shuda Ishikawa goes to the hill for the SoftBank Hawks. The Hawks are looking for their 8th win of the season. If I had to give my prediction on that game, I would probably be hedging towards the Hawks for win number 8. Ishikawa, if he's on form, will be tough to beat. In the Central League, the Chinichi Dragons are playing away to the Yakult Swallows at the Jinju Stadium. It is going to be Akiyoshi Katsuno on the mound for the Dragons. He's 0-0 with a 3.00 ERA. Cy Sneed takes to the hill for the Swallows. Yokohama Dana Bay Stars put their 500 record on the line against the Hanshin Tigers, who are looking for their first win of the year. Fernando Romero is 1-0. Yuki Nishi, 0-0 with a 1.35 ERA. Takes to the hill for the Tigers. Question came earlier, why are the Tigers at 0-9 favored to win? Well, that's because Nishi is probably their ace. He takes to the mound against Romero. And then the other game is the Yomiuri Giants are playing away a good pitching matchup. Edge to 3 is tough home. And those are the ones there. So the recap here for you guys, we've got the Saitama Seibu Lions. Their offense is continuing to struggle a little bit, although it did show a little bit of life tonight. But the game was over fairly early. The Golden Eagles got 2 runs in their half of the bottom of the first inning. A single by Nishikawa. And then, of course, there was a hit batter and a fielder's choice. And then Daichi Suzuki ended up hitting a 2-run RBI double. Got things going for the Golden Eagles. They tacked on 3 more in the 3rd inning. When Hideto Asamura got the inning going with a single, it was a walk to Shimouchi, a single to Daichi Suzuki, who knocked in a run, and then Jose Marmoleo knocked in a run with a single. And then Tatsumi reached on an error by the second baseman, and that ended up cashing in yet another run, which was Suzuki. And then what happened is the Lions did come back. They showed some life in the 5th inning. A 2-run homer by Shohei Suzuki brought them to within 3. But then the Golden Eagles scored 2 in the 7th. A single by Yamazaki, a double by Asamura knocked him in. A sac fly by the pinch hitter Genji brought in Asamura, and that put them up 7-2. The big noise in our audience tonight was from Ryan Morris, who was fist pumping when Nin Ting Wu came off the bench with 2 out in the 9th inning and put a solo shot into the seats. That made the final score the Tohoku Rakuten Golden Eagles 7, the Seibu Lions 3. All right, everybody. Well, once again, we'll be back again on the air tomorrow night at 10 p.m. Pacific time, 1 a.m. Eastern. We appreciate everybody being here, whether you listen to us live on YouTube or on Twitch. We thank you for being here, and hopefully we can see you all again tomorrow night. Ryan does ask a question before I go. The question is, any former MLB guys on the mound? It's going to be Cy Snead tonight for the Swallows. Of course, he is a former Houston Astro prospect, so he is going to be one as well. So hopefully, guys, you can join us back tomorrow. Alexander Leggett, Ryan Morris, Luis Angel Marrero, everybody who stopped in the stream tonight, I want to thank you for being here. You guys made it as much fun for me as I hope I did for you. I appreciate you being here again. This has been another Last Drafts Baseball video production. Have a great night, everybody. We'll see you guys again tomorrow.